The Rogue Room appreciates your recommendation. The Rogue Room appreciates your recommendation.
Fuck capitalism. That's my intro. Hello everybody, welcome to the Rogue Room. I am Rogue Bitch. And, I mean, that's always a theme, right? That's always going to be a theme. It's fuck capitalism, of course. Magic. There you go. Stop ruining my lip gloss. For fuck's sake. I made a change. I made a very slight change. Speaking of changes, like we talked about yesterday, I made a change. Can you see it? I'll wait. I want to know if you can tell. Because it's exciting and fun. And I can change the colors on it. Do you know what it is yet? Do you have any idea what it could possibly be? I don't know, honestly. I couldn't tell you. Also, the remote for it is fucked up. The lights that are on the red hands, on the red side, do the blue stuff. The green stuff does the red stuff, I think. It's all fucking messed up. I don't know what happened. But I got the strip lights and I put them on my bed. Okay? You incompetent bastards. Why am I not hearing any more music? The music stopped. Anyway. How's it hanging? How's your day been? How's it been going? I have a mild qualm before we get into any of the discussion. We've got some discussion lined up for today. Got some topics I would like to talk about, and as usual, it could always skew in favor of politics or whatever else, but I have a particular thing I would like to talk about, because I see this all the time and it could relate to numerous different things. There's so much in this discussion around networking and personal relationships and anxiety and all of that. I want to talk about all of that at length. I was going somewhere with this, and now I've forgotten what oh, yeah. I wanted to start... Oh, fuck. I had something I wanted to start with before... Oh, here we go. I've got it. It's in my head now. This. The microphone. Alright. I thought my microphone quality sounded
Welcome
good.
To the
Please
Rogue
tell
Room.
me.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
J.1. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. You lovely person, you. Can you guys tell... Can you guys tell the bit rate of audio by listening to it? Am I imagining this? Like, I can hear not if the microphone quality is peaking a lot, not if the microphone quality is scratchy or staticky or anything like that. I can hear if the audio bit rate is really low, and it shouldn't be. As far as I know, there isn't actually audio bitrate in OBS, so it's a problem with the filters I've noticed. The filters that I've set out for my microphone. I noticed this while I was editing today's video that I just put up, which was just the clip about autism from yesterday. I noticed while I was editing that the audio quality of the video is rather distinctly low bitrate. What that means is, it's hard to quite clarify exactly what I mean when I say low bitrate. Like, it's well, think about if you're watching a YouTube video in what's like a low video bitrate on, like 144 kilobytes per second, and you watch it and hey J-Point, how you doing? And you're watching the video and obviously the quality of the video is bad, but the quality of the audio drops as well. It's hard to define exactly how it sounds, but if you can tell by how the microphone sounds now, let me know, and I'll turn my mic filters off. It will mean we'll catch background noise and stuff, but it'll make the microphone sound clearer. Which is a pain in the ass. I tried this with RTX Voice. Hey Gingerbeard man, how you doing? I had this problem with RTX Voice as well, where once I tried that out, it resulted in the audio quality sounding lesser, which is not good. Radio Magic Man, enjoy that lurk. Enjoy that lurk. You know what astounds me, actually? Is despite the fact that I've put those filters on the microphone, which tend to block out virtually any background noise, without fail for reasons that escape me, you guys tend to be able to hear Smudge's jingly bell. I don't know what the deal is there. What is it about the bell that picks up the mic? I don't get it. You doing good? I'm doing good as well. I'm doing good. I had a bit of a back and forth with some idiot transphobe on Twitter today. Not Twitter. Not Twitter this time, on Facebook. I haven't done many transphobes on Twitter yet. I'm working on that one. I enjoy arguing with these idiots because they never have any valid points. I think I'm going to turn this down just a tad. Just a tiny bit. But yeah, the funny thing is, and this is something I'm considering turning into a video. He commented on the post because it was public. I'm assuming because I shared it, not tweeted it, dipshit. I think because I shared it from that public page, he must have Can you check? Oh yeah, you can. You can check. If I go to the page now, if I go to the post now, I'm not going to bring this up on screen. If you go to a public page and click on, there's a section where it says shares. And it's got 525 shares on it. And of course mine is in there amidst all of that. And all I did was share the post and he went after me. Hi Autumn, how you doing? He went after me on my own personal share of that thing. And it went into this whole spiel. I'll show you the screenshots I posted to Twitter. I think I missed a few of the messages, but as far as I know, either he has blocked me or he has deleted all of his comments. But here's how it went down. So I posted this, right? Where's my Stream Deck? I need my Stream Deck for this one. I still haven't fixed up my little window over here yet, sorry. So I just shared this. That's all I did. I just shared this. I didn't add any commentary of my own. Just good morning to everyone except those that celebrate Australia Day. Because fuck Australia Day, right? And we'll go into that tomorrow. I'm going to do a big stream about why Australia Day is fucked up. Because patriotism and all that bullshit. And because it's a public post, I think everything I post on Facebook is public. So anyone can comment on it. And literally, all I did was post... Just share it. That's all I did. And this guy chimes in, you and your mental illnesses can fuck off. That's how it started. That's how it kicked off. It's like this guy followed me to my personal share of the post and started commenting on it. And then, here's a bunch of... So, first I start off, attacking people for mental illness is fairly uncalled for. Maybe you should seek help and stop celebrating white supremacy. And he just keeps going with this. You have a mental illness because of all the bullshit lies you're fed from the left. Not the dreadful left, the amorphous blob. Where is my Zoom? Known as the left. The evil left turned me into a tranny. That's why the left is filled with mentally unstable people like yourself. I don't need to seek help. I'm very happy and love my life and my beautiful country, and I'll be celebrating it for you on your behalf. Nice of you to provide any sources for anything you're saying whatsoever. That's what I said. You're the source. What? Source of what? The guy goes on about how many mentally ill people there are on the left and how they're warping the perceptions of reality and all this shit. That's why the left is filled with mentally unstable people. It's because left-leaning people tend to care more about those who are mentally ill. I mean, I've noticed that, generally speaking, that the right-wing folks tend to be very, very ableist. They have a lot of disdain for anyone that they consider lesser because of mental illness, like actual legitimate mental illness. And I guarantee you, this guy was on the cusp of using the word retard to describe me. Not a description of a direct relative to your position in space. How does he describe that there have been trans people since before the left existed? Good question, I should have asked that. But he's deleted his messages. So anyway... So you're the source of what exactly? You know nothing about me and made baseless assumptions because I shared a post on Facebook. You think there is more than two genders and that is a lie you and the left believe in. Again, how many genders are there? Where'd this come from? Again, to reiterate, this is about good morning to everyone except those that celebrate Australia Day. Nothing to do with gender. Yeah, what does any of that have to do with Invasion Day? Because you're uneducated, you think there are more than two genders and you're wrong. Has nothing to do with Australia Day. That has nothing to do with the subject at hand. Ad hominem, for the record. So you're uneducated with knowing what Australia Day is because you're so brain dead and riddled with mental illnesses because you're taught so much bullshit. I feel sorry for you. I really do. You need big help, big time, sir. You call me sir. Oh my god, I'm so offended. So, ignoring the uneducated with knowing what Australia Day is. I know what the fuck Australia Day is. I know a lot about it. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Not now, tomorrow. When the day is going on. When the event is occurring. Because I disagree with the fact that history outright states that the settlers invaded, killed, and subjugated native people, and that's something that should not be celebrated, you feel the need to attack me personally on things that have nothing to do with the subject in hand. Put the beer down and pick up a book for once in your life. I'm not the one that needs education here. I'm kind of proud of that one a little bit. Righto, bloke, weird cunt that dresses like a girl, riddled with mental illness, but I'm the one that's right. Like, again, ad hominem, he has no points. These people never have any points. They never make any actual valid arguments. They just go out of their way to attack you based on their perceptions of the things that you happen, the pigeonholes you happen to slot into, right? And this is someone I would never want to network with. Maybe they think Australia itself has more than one gender. That's how it's relevant, maybe. Oh yes, Australia Day, where we celebrate the two genders. That's exactly what it's about. It's so stupid. They're so offended. Like, these people are the ones that go out and call the left snowflakes anytime we get fired up about a social issue, which Australia Day is very much a sociological issue. Or rather, a social issue. Sociological is a different thing entirely, but it's very much a social issue. A social justice issue, in fact. And anytime that you get anytime you get fired up in the slightest, anytime you express your malcontent with the system, in any way, shape, or form, they call you triggered. It's like, we're trying to make things better, and they say we're snowflakes, but they get so worked up about the gender thing. They get so worked up about racism. Like, these are the same kind of people who think you can be racist to a white person. Like, these are the definition of snowflakes, and yet they will call us snowflakes. Honestly, I feel like I haven't seen any right-wingers use the phrase snowflake in a while, but they are the definition of fragile, petty little snowflakes. They need the world to revolve around them, and everyone needs to fall perfectly in line with their worldview. It's adorable. They're like children. They're like 8-year-olds. You know, they haven't quite grasped social norms and etiquette just yet. So, anytime something doesn't go their way, it's not fair. Okay, I hate to use children as an example here, because children are still learning and developing, but it genuinely feels like these people stopped learning and developing at age 8. That's where the cutoff is.
Welcome to
Based when the new
Rogue
president said,
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Vardine27. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. We hope you're having a good one. The new president said there are at least 3. Like, that's a start, yeah. There are at least 3. That's a start. It's humble beginnings. God, the Biden situation, though. There's a lot left to be desired there. I need to do a little bit more in-depth research, but we're already seeing a lot of people who are unhappy with the new presidency. And I'm just personally over here disappointed that it seems like Trump is not really going to face the music for anything that he's done. Howdy, Allison. How you doing? I'm doing well. I'm doing good. You'll be hitting the whiskey soon. Rip martial arts. Nah, get on the whiskey. Who cares? I nearly bought a bottle of Moscato today. I nearly bought that and... oh, gosh. I decided against it. Primarily because I don't need it. I don't need the carbs. Not carbs, actually. Beer tends to have carbs. I'm not too sure about wine. I guess it does in some ways. But alcoholic beverages, the macro in them is the alcohol, is the main thing. The calorie in them, in alcoholic beverages tends to be the alcohol, primarily. Which is dead macronutrients. If you are tracking your macros, your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. Alcohol is another one that's dead calories, as in you gain nothing from putting it into your system. But that's a whole other discussion. Check out some dumb selfies of Rogue at instagram.com/roguebitch. That's a good idea. So what was I getting at? Oh yeah, we were going to talk networking. We're going to talk social anxiety. We're going to talk we were going to talk networking anxiety, personal relationships, and some of the concepts I've picked up over the years trying to learn and understand these things, especially with streaming. It's kind of where it came from. Like, it's especially regarding streaming, but in general. You gain being drunk, that is true. I don't tend to drink to get drunk, though. That's the thing with me, is I prefer to stay sober, relatively speaking. But I've noticed, I think what inspired this, weirdly enough, this is not directly related to the networking thing, in the typical sense you would think of it regarding streaming, but it is relevant to the overall concepts of networking, I guess. But there was this thread that I saw today, which brings up the idea in my head that, you know, G Fuel and GamerSups and all of those kinds of things where they'll give out promo codes to streamers and things like that. These are like this close to being pyramid schemes, right? What does that have to do with anything? You're here, welcome back, Reaper. Okay, so let me get my thoughts together here. We'll start off with pyramid schemes because that's a lovely topic. Pyramid schemes are the epitome of pyramid schemes are the foundation for the vast majority of the Twitch networking groups I've seen. MLMs, multi-level management. I think it's multi-level management. Multi-level marketing is probably a better way to do it. And the way that these supplement companies like G Fuel and all that hand out codes like candy. If you even have 5 viewers, you can get a G Fuel code or whatever. There's a number of these little companies. Some of them are very small and are just trying to gain a foothold, and they will literally give an affiliate code to anyone. And this is the important thing, is like they lure you in that with these promises of you can make money if you sell our product for us, which is never get into that, by the way. Never get an affiliate code for anything. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. I'm watching the movie Bombshell about Roger Ailes. Interesting. But yeah, my personal thing is, if you genuinely have enough of an audience, if you are big enough that a subs company comes to you and says, we'll give you an affiliate code and you'll make money from it, and it will actually result in you earning a significant chunk of income from it. If you know the audience that you're going to pander to will buy the product with your coupon code, go ahead. But the vast majority of the time, people at my size, for example, I'm getting hit up for fucking promote our jewelry and shit, and I've been hit up for promote supplements and all that shit before when I used to post fitness photos all the time. The vast majority of the time, you don't have an audience. Like, if somebody was legitimately interested in communicating to you a business deal that would result in a mutually beneficial arrangement, they wouldn't slide in your DMs, they'd find your business email. You can find my business email on my Twitter. I almost never get anything in there. Do you think Twitch is going to change soon to push more female LGBT and people of color so they feel more welcomed here? Honestly, you know. That's the thing. That came up earlier. Not here on stream, but put a pin in that. Hang on, let's put a pin in that. I want to continue this topic for a second, because this is something else that was relevant to something I saw earlier. Yeah, instead of them hiring a marketing team, they get paid for you to market them. This is the issue with these supplement companies and things like that. I promise we will come back to this. I put a note in it. We'll come back to it because I do like that subject. We will come back around, and there's a lot in there. These supplement companies, and like some of them are like beef jerky, or I've seen a number of others, where they will reach out to low-tier influencers who have barely got a foothold, barely got a following. At the very least, you know, you're not really getting paid if someone buys the product. If you have an affiliate code, maybe you'll earn 15 cents. But the company, of course, is going to earn $30 to $50 or however much it is if even one person buys the product that you are advertising for virtually free. And they'll try to skirt around this by saying, oh, we'll send you some promo of the product. We'll send you a tub of this powder, or we'll send you a packet of whatever it is you're plugging for them. Vita noodles. What was it? Vite ramen? I don't know. There's a number of different products you'll see all around Twitch. You'll see people advertising these things. And again, if you have a significant audience and you can draw a reasonable amount of income from it, go ahead. But if you are on a low level, if you are an affiliate level streamer, do not ever bother with these promo code deals, with these affiliate deals. They're never going to get you anywhere. Especially if you don't show significant growth with your content, building enough of an audience, it's not going to go anywhere. And I see this all the time. I've been in numerous, like, sub 5 viewer streams, and they have a promo code for some product. And all of these companies are obviously greedy, selfish, capitalistic bastards. Hello, NBZ, how you doing? And this case here springs to mind. Fuck gamer subs, this is Ice Rocker. Most of you know me for this merch line I put out, which I promoted the hell out of, and I've never heard of her before, but promoted the hell out of and made a pretty damn good name for. In 2019, I did a sort of collab with GS, who I was partnered again, keep that in mind, with at the time. It was a disaster. I was a disaster from the very start. My original contract was easy. They were interested, so I sent them a design, and we made a digital mock-up with colors. That person left the company, and the project was handed off. They then proceeded to order the shakers without any agreement, contact, payment, anything set up. So she did this design and everything, didn't have a contract written up. That's, mistake number one. This is somebody who has got a reasonable level of influence. She's got a fair few followers, she's got an audience, and maybe didn't have I think she actually mentions a little bit later on, I was still young in my career, so like this was earlier, and she didn't really, again, this is the problem, is they will prey on people who are specifically early in their streaming career, do not have much of an audience, don't have much of a foothold, don't understand how these things work, and they'll set up these deals with you that explicitly benefit them and do not benefit you in any way, shape, or form. But they will convince you that it does benefit you in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, coming back to this. Not sure how these things were supposed to work with these deals. I like to look at the shakers, was told I would receive some for promotional photos before launch. None of that happened. I was midstream when I found out that my shakers had gone live for their Black Friday sale. No announcement, no message. I quickly made my own promo photo because it was still my shaker, so I wanted to give it the attention I was promised. I also noticed it didn't even have the right store link to it as we agreed upon. Mind you, I still had no contract set up, so yeah, that's the major thing. If you're going to do anything like this, and again, it's not just streaming, it could be YouTube, it could be if you're on Instagram, if you post on Facebook, if you make memes, for fuck's sake, if you get any of these offers, you see it all the time on Twitter when a post goes viral. A post will go viral, and then you'll see a bunch of ads under the tweet for the same few stupid products like Galaxy lights and whatever else. And I've heard, through the grapevine, that those advertisements cost $20. They will pay the person who got a tweet with 700,000 likes $20 to chuck an ad under the tweet. These companies don't care about you. Don't do deals with them. Anyway, no contract set up, or even a way to be paid by them. At that point, the expectation should have been that you're not going to get paid, or even receive the shakers yourself, so I brought up my concerns with the PM contract I had and was directed to Eric, the owner. We talked and came to an agreement to try and fix things. Let's have a look here. So just a few things. Did you guys get any promo photos already done? And the merch link to my stuff goes to Streamlabs store, which you closed down. Story blah 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 blah. Haven't got any promo shots yet. We are working on it. We'll get that updated right now. Your package is en route. We are shipping it first thing tomorrow. We just got them in today. Oh, okay. There's some sirens in the background. Awesome. What do we got here? So that was back in November. Again, this is from 2 years ago at this point. 2019, November 25. Then 2 weeks later, yeah. We have some issues. I think I've been pretty easy going, but I'm at a breaking point. I never received anything. I never received a single payment from GamerSupps, commissions, anything. And before you guys posted up my shaker, you never wrote up what my take would be, or even how I could get payments in the first place. So do not hit hello 911. GamerSupps is stealing from me. And with rumors of you guys skating, paying folks, I'm not feeling great about this right now. Rumors of you guys skating, paying folks. Alarm bells, guys. I urge you, do research on this shit. The Black Friday sale is still up in the site. I have my community members who placed orders being ignored and not shipped or even notified of any shipment progress or hold up. The shakers are awesome. The product is awesome. Don't compliment them either. If you are dealing with support, don't compliment them at all. Don't give them any goodwill. But the way the business is being handled is starting to make me look bad and I can't stand for that. Eric wants to talk with you directly, blah, blah, blah. How long does this go for? It goes for a while. Okay, that's a bit of a pain. I wanted to make this point briefly, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. So, this is one thing that is not directly related to networking, but it is rather relevant to the whole idea of affiliates, especially, or younger, like earlier career streamers, people who are starting out, or YouTubers or whatever, getting taken advantage of. Do not fall for this kind of shit. And it's entirely too prevalent. It's all over the place. And again, like I said, people fall prey to this shit in social circles that are not on major social media. You feel bad? Well, yeah, I would feel bad for her because these companies are this is the thing. Majority of companies are unethical, the vast majority of them. But if you are doing anything with a company that could even come close to qualifying as a job, you should be paid adequately for it. And marketing is a job. So if you are being approached by a company, advertise our product, say to them, pay me. Say, pay me $2,000 a month, minimum, and I'll advertise your product. I don't care what your size is. Say to them directly, write me a check, and I'll be a billboard for you. That's what you should do. If you guys are interested, join the Discord so you can join in the conversation. Anyway, Allison, let's come back around to this message you left. If you're still there, do we think Twitch is going to change soon to push through more female LGBT and people of color? Not unless it is, not unless it's an event, is the thing I was going to start with. Not unless it's specifically an event, month or week or special day or anything like that. Because there was another thread, on another Twitter thread. I got a lot of these. I should have bookmarked these actually. This post by Nega Oryx is actually somewhat relevant. There's more than 42,000 viewers watching the Twitch participation ceremony on the official Twitch channel right now. Users in chat are spewing hate speech and harassing the guest streamers. 3 mod names in the chat list, but since I've been watching, there have been 0 messages deleted. And it's all about how Twitch has a tendency to not really moderate their platform in any reasonable capacity. I'm just going to see if I can find this other tweet that I liked. I like so many things. This is going to be very, very difficult. Where is it? There was a thread about this very thing. Where is it? Gosh, no, that's Miss Alley Cat. No, here, no. Not Ice Rocker. Maybe it was earlier than her. I remember seeing a thread that talks about this very thing. Here we go. We found it. I found it. Alright. So, this is relevant. Twitch doesn't want to kick all the shitty people off its platform. I know we're not talking directly about women and LGBT and all that, but this does come in very shortly. Twitch doesn't want to kick all the shitty people off its platform. They don't want to do anything that will massively shrink their user base, and they know they have the data that shows that removing shitty people would be a huge blow to their business. This is where, I don't think this is really, well, I mean, it's kind of relevant. This is where services like Netflix have an edge over them. Netflix has no idea who the white supremacists are, and they don't have to worry about it. Twitch has to worry about how to keep normal people happy while not exiling the shitty people from their platform. Think about the exec who would have to report to their C-level boss that they deplatformed hundreds of thousands of accounts due to racist and shitty behavior. Heads would roll. This is 100% what they should do, but when your competition doesn't have to worry about kicking off shitty racist 15-year-olds, then you do your best not to as well. I know they keep promising that it will get better, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I know it's good to have hope for this stuff, but pragmatically I think we are in for years of disappointment. I don't work for Twitch, and I never have, but I've been working adjacent to the platform since it became Twitch.
Cause.
Kieran,
how goes it?
Thank you so bloody kindly for the resub. How goes it? It goes well. I need to figure out like something other than the sub lounge because we're reading at the moment. I need to figure out some sub benefits for you guys, for you subs, for you lovely supporters of the stream. What can I do for you that's not an obnoxious sound effect that interrupts me, by the way? I need ideas. We need to brainstorm some subscriber ideas. Glad to hear you're doing good. So anyway, as we were saying, Been working adjacent to the platform since it became Twitch, and I've seen 9 years of roller coaster promises and letdown. We all want off this ride, but I don't see an end in sight. It's 2021 and the technology exists to IP ban, to stop people from making alt accounts, to punish people who make racist comments and report people who make death and rape threats to the authorities. They could have been doing this shit for years. My best guess is that doing these things would remove a huge chunk of people from their user base, and they are not a healthy enough platform to do that. We know that Twitch has got a number of financial issues, is why they keep pushing more and more monetization options that are typically invasive, like the mid-roll ads thing that they did, and what else was there? There was a bunch of other stuff. Oh, they've been attacking ad blockers, so that ad blockers are now having a very tough time taking ads off Twitch for obvious reasons. They want to generate as much profit as possible. This is why when you cater to racists, misogynists, shitty trolls, it's next to impossible to shift your audience away from them. Once you have these people in the bedrock of your community, it's hard to remove them without doing serious damage to what you have built. Think of how many followers and subs some of the most influential streamers would lose. They would freak the fuck out and jump to other platforms. The shitty troll kids pay their top talent, and they know that. There is no simple way to remove them from Twitch. They are Twitch. And then he goes into, I don't have a sound. So, celebrations, celebrations, which, for those of you who are out of the loop, Twitch has got 3 different methods of monetization at the moment. Which is, for streamers that is, which is subscriptions, cheering bits, and ad rolls. Twitch has also been testing a new idea called celebrations, which is effectively, you know how you can directly tip a streamer now? They have a PayPal link, or for my example, I have a Coffee link, or a Patreon. You can directly tip off the site. Well, Twitch wants to take that option and embed it into the site, and in doing so, take 50% of that tip. If you were going to tip someone $25 to an external site, like my Coffee or whatever, I get all of that if you tip me on Coffee. Not so much on Patreon. I think Patreon takes a cut of about 10%. I'm not sure. This will lead into your question, Allison, because we were just talking about how Twitch doesn't want to remove white supremacists and trolls and people who have the wrong kind of attitudes. So we're going to hit on your question in a moment. But yeah, Twitch also wants to add this feature that's effectively going to steal away direct tips, which most people call donations. I don't like the term donations. I don't like the term donate. Do not donate to me if you would like to help me financially. It's tipping. But consider me like a busker on the side of the road. You know, I'm an entertainer. Throw a couple of coins in my guitar case. Except the major problem with that is, though I have an electric guitar there and an acoustic guitar over there, I can't play for shit, so don't tip me for my musical talents. Anyway, yeah, donations go to charity. Let's clarify that right now. Donations go to charity. Streamers are entertainers. We get tips. All right? Anyway, please throw a few dollars in my guitar case. So, what we were saying. The thing about will they push more women and LGBTQ plus and people of color and disabled streamers and all of that, will they push them only when it's a relevant event, is what I will say. Is if it's like Women's History Month, or if it's Black History Month, or if it's Trans Awareness Week, or any of those, like if they have Pride Month, they will push those streamers during those events and never otherwise. Twitch will continue to push the majority of the big streamers who they know are palatable to the wider audience, which tends to be full of racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, ableist, ageist, trolls, etc. They will continue to push the content creators that are the most palatable, that bring them the most income, and they will refuse to get rid of the people on the platform that are directly harmful to the streamers themselves and to other members of the audience on the platform. There's a reason we're called, well, the thing is we're minorities, you know, like any kind of minority on Twitch faces a severe amount of harassment for simply existing. And Twitch has to be, I refuse to believe that Twitch is not aware of the harassment minorities face on their platform, but they will continually virtue signal about the harassment that minorities face, and they will continue to do little promotional posts that virtually do nothing and all of this, but they will not do anything significant that will help those minority streamers to grow on the platform. It makes it that much harder for us, honestly. Sometimes you watch XQC because he's funny, but his chat is a complete nightmare. That's the problem, is like when you've got, what does he average, like 40,000 viewers? I don't know. When you've got so many viewers, it would be impossible for his mods to moderate it. I don't know if his chat is moderated or not. But again, it would drive people off the platform if Twitch started automatically, systemically, algorithmically cracking down on bad behaviors, and it benefits them more to keep those people on the platform and to honestly keep suppressing minority streamers on the platform. You love the new camera angle? Thank you, Monarch. Welcome back in. How are you doing? He's a real piece of shit. I haven't watched anything other than clips of XQC, so I don't know much about him personally. I do know he's an Overwatch player. I know that, or used to be. You know, next month they will spotlight more black creators, but you also know they won't do a damn thing about punishing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they will. Twitch will push black creators and gay creators and all of these different types of creators during the relevant time period for those creators, and then never after that. Right? They won't care about it otherwise, and they will not do anything about the harassment. Because like, I forget what this guy's name was. I've lost the Twitter thread now, but like the guy said in that Twitter thread, it would directly disadvantage Twitch. Twitch cannot afford to get rid of all those people from the platform. Twitch cannot afford to alienate people. Optics and symbolism, because it's free. They don't have to actually do anything to promote anyone. If someone from those minorities does happen to blow up, will they promote them? Yes, probably. You know, generally speaking, maybe, we can argue. This is why it is so important when you see a minority... When you... what was I going to say here? Well, I mean, specifically to my example, as a trans person, as a gay person, this is why it's so important when someone with a big platform comes out and says, I'm gay or I'm trans or whatever. The representation is huge, and the ability for people like me to get seen is huge as a result. And to be understood, hopefully, and for people to take that as a moment to self-reflect on established prejudices they may have had. You watched the guy because he was an amazing tank player during Season 1 of OWL. Then you saw his streams and you're like, whoa, calm down. Well, that's not very good, is it? Trying to get over some mental bumps in the road. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. We are going to talk about... so we've discussed that topic. Put a marker in it. I'll put a marker in that. That was a good discussion. I might turn that into a video. We'll do our next one now. We'll go back to the networking thing. So with the networking thing, I've noticed this, especially with regards to, like I mentioned earlier, Twitch streaming groups. There are quite a few of these out there that are specifically designed. Well, the thing is, I think a lot of these streaming groups that I have seen personally have shifted away from this, but there are still communities out there who are specifically designed around effectively follow for follow, but they never actually touch on that. They always skirt around it and say it's not follow for follow, it's support for support, or whatever it is. And this is explicitly, like, one thing you should never do is try to just get an extra point in your digital internet score, right? Forgot next month, but so did I, honestly. Although I think it's an American Black History Month. I don't think Australia has one. He's just an immature man-child to you. I think it's because he tends to facilitate the kind of negativity we were just talking about. The crazy thing is the trolls, racist assholes don't spend any money on Twitch in any way, shape, or form, so honestly losing... No, that's the thing, they do spend money. They sub to people. This is the problem, is like Twitch definitely sees it. They do buy subs and bits and all of that. They do watch ads as well. If they get rid of all of, like, this is the thing. And I'm honestly, I'm going to formally, right now, ferociously, Steph, you're not watching this, I know you're not. I'm going to retract my statement that you made. My statement to your statement that you made. She explicitly said, I think a lot of you gamers are white supremacists. She's right. I made a joke about this back before I transitioned, but I've had some time to reflect on that recently. She's right. There is a ton of white supremacy.
Hope you enjoy your stay.
Daniel Yahoo, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. She was completely right. There's a ton of white supremacy in gaming, and as a result, because Twitch is largely seen as a gaming platform, they come here, and they see this as a safe space for them. But anywho, that's beside the point. That's really beside the point. We've moved on to the networking thing now. We're onto the well, actually, that's a topic for tomorrow, Broken. That is a topic for tomorrow, because we are going to talk very heavily about white supremacy on tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow is Invasion Day, or as the Patriots like to call it, Australia Day. And I might see if I can grab some shitty fucking Australia flag merch for tomorrow's stream. I'm so sad I left it so late.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Excuse
We
me.
hope you enjoy
What's up,
your
Rawsin?
stay.
How you doing? Welcome to the Rogue Room, Margot the Witch. Hope you're having a good one. Sit down, chill out, and grab a drink, and hang out with us. I messed up my little follow alert thing. Excuse me. Alright, networking. Social anxiety and all this sort of stuff. I get the appeal of follow for follow, right? Especially, well, do we just continue with the racist stuff? Hey, it's Steph. Well, it's ferociously Steph now. Because parading around, I've got official Twitch. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't respect that. I don't respect that attitude. But she was right about the white supremacist thing. Most of the platform is going to be white guys, and they get very confident in being among a crowd of people like them. So yeah, it is an assumption. It's definitely an assumption she's making. And I think a lot of people don't realize just how much they are white supremacists. These people will... I promise we'll come back to the networking thing. I promise. A lot of people do not realize that they are being white supremacists. They see white supremacists as cross-burning people who will go out and lynch black folks wearing white hoods, you know, marching down the street in the middle of the night with torches and pitchforks. Like, that's what they think of white supremacists. And they don't think they are those people. And they're not, generally speaking. But what white supremacy is tends to be completely dismissing the issues of people of other races and saying stuff like you can still be racist towards white people and ignoring all the privilege they have and saying, I'm not privileged, I had to work for everything I've got, and all this other bullshit. They like the modern white supremacist. And I used to do it too. I used to just shake off my privilege and say, no, I've got problems. I'm not privileged, I've got problems. That's just Republicans. I mean, true. The modern white supremacist, the Republican Party. But that's the major thing, is like they will find solidarity in platforms like Twitch. Yeah, we all have problems, but the reality of the situation is some of them are first world problems. Yeah, for sure. They definitely are first world problems for a lot of these people. But quite frankly, there are a lot of these same kinds of people who are flagrantly ignorant and refuse to educate themselves on certain issues that they should educate themselves on. Thinking back to the Isaac Butterfield video, which was... what was it about? Oh, the one about... I think it was about how white racism is a real thing. And the situation was, he lives in a majority white society, a colonized society, has a ton of privilege, has a big following. Hey, Trips, how you doing? And he made the point of specifically finding examples of racism against white people in other countries, in places outside of the country he lives in. So, in essence, what he did was look for an example of racism that affects... And the thing is, white isn't even technically a race. You know, what nationality does he come from? Right? I know my nationality is Scottish, Irish, and Welsh. And I think English. Or British, whatever. You know, I know my heritage comes from those. So, where was I going with this? He specifically went out of his way to find examples of racism against white people in, like, South Africa. Right? Rather than at all, in any way, shape, or form, acknowledging the severe racism that Aboriginal people and Asian people face here in Australia. And that in itself is a white supremacist thing to do. He cares more about things that are affecting people in other countries than what are affecting the people in his own country. Deflection. Like, oh yeah, white people can experience racism too, see? Yeah. Not the point. Have a genuine question. Go. Shoot. And then we're doing the networking thing. We're talking about this. Follow for follow and anxiety. Social networking. We are going to talk about that at length. Is it racist to assume an Asian immigrant is from China specifically due to it having the highest population? Probably. I mean, why are you assuming where a person is from first and foremost is what I would ask. Oh, he's absolutely a white supremacist. He absolutely is. He says some, like, the questionable stuff he says in a lot of his videos. But yeah, the questionable stuff he says in a lot of his videos puts, the reason he's a white supremacist is he puts ideas in people's heads. So when you have that big of an audience and you have that level of influence, saying the things that he says on a routine basis is... There's a good word here that I'm trying to think of. And this is the problem with streaming, is you gotta be live and you gotta be on the ball, and I'm not right now. I'm not sure if that would be called racism. I don't think it's necessarily. Like, that would be, it's ignorant, I would think. Ignorant would probably be the best word. Margot, thank you for the hydration. Water bottle making whistling noises. Anyway. Yeah, I think once you have a certain level of influence and you start spouting certain ideas, that can become a very dangerous thing. And when you're going on about racial issues explicitly affecting white people, explicitly in parts of the world that do not affect you, while ignoring the racial issues that are happening in the nation you live in, that is a white supremacist viewpoint. Like, why did he need to go out of his way to find an example of racism against white people in South Africa to make a video about? No. There is, where are you from, asking a small talk, and where you... Yeah, true. Where you from, boy, is different. Ben Shapiro should hear this. White Jewish dude once called you a thug on Twitter because you were trying to defend this girl who was being bullied. His account was filled with photos and articles filled with crimes where a white person was the victim of black... Oh my god, see, that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Yeah, microaggressions. Little things. How are you? I want to know where you are from. Like, that's fine. That's understandable. I can understand if somebody says, where are you from? Excuse me. If you said, where are you from to an Asian person, I can understand them being a bit annoyed or being a bit snarky if they happen to say, be from Australia. If they were born in Australia and they're just like, oh, I'm from Melbourne. And they snap back at you because you're from your mother. Technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. If you're asking genuinely, then there shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, ideally. But yeah, I do think that with regards to Twitch, I think Steph had a point about the white supremacy issue, and it all comes back to that thing that we talked about earlier, which is that Twitch has such an embedded white supremacist problem, and ableist problem, and homophobe problem, and transphobe problem. The amount of times since I came out, honestly, especially streaming and just chatting, I think, the amount of times I've seen someone come in with the "there's only two genders" thing, it's like, how often do I need to read that message? Excuse me. And there's never any reason for those people to come by the streams of people they hate and harass them, other than the fact that they want to find someone to harass, and it's just easy for them to target minorities. Because you see tons of white blokes on the platform who I have rarely ever... I mean, there's been a few streams I've been in where it's a white dude streaming, and he's not typically handsome or whatever, he's not stereotypically the most attractive man or whatever, and I've seen them get harassed on occasion. But they are also the majority of streamers on the platform, as well as the majority of people in the top 10 streamers on the platform. The "I used to be a man trapped in a woman's body and then I was born" joke gets spammed so hard. Where? Here? Grateful to have not experienced much of that. You also did ban phrases. I do need to do that. I do need to ban several phrases because it's just easier. Only 2 flavors of banana. What? Don't assume anything will be born in Australia or somewhere else. Oh, on YouTube, okay. What was I saying? The attack helicopter joke? Yes. Ugh. God. I'm so exhausted with that joke. I identify as an attack helicopter. Ah. These people don't know what humor is, first of all. These people have no idea what comedy is. There's quite a few videos on comedy and humor that they need to look up to. You accidentally made that joke to Abby. I can't even remember you doing it. Being a Discord mod. Oh god. The right can't meme. Yeah, that's true. That's a pretty consistent theme. Like, there's a good subreddit for that. The right can't meme subreddit. These are always great. These are always fucking hilarious. If masks were necessary for our survival as a species, we wouldn't have evolved one. We would have evolved one by now. We haven't. We have noses and mouths. We have airways. It's not natural for people to go around with face masks on in general life. And no amount of government propaganda could change that. Neil, do you wear shoes? Oh, fuck. This is something, actually, that comes up. I believe I tweeted something related to this. In the US, you are free to live as you wish unless you're white, straight, Republican, a gun owner, or Southern. Fucking Christ. Another Rogue! Hello, Rogue Charisma. How you doing?
The Rogue Room appreciates your recommendation.
I like how it gave me a little heart for is lurking for the moment. Rightio, Margot. Thank you for the host, Rogue Charisma. Welcome to the Rogue Group.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Hope you enjoy your stay. So, this is kind of amusing to me, this particular one. Because I tweeted about how, and this will come up tomorrow. I'm sure this will come up tomorrow. Tweeting about how I watched Shoe on Head's recent video, where she was asking people at the Trump rally at Capitol Hill about should it be legal to burn the flag, burn the American flag, and there were a number of people who said, oh, actually one guy in particular said this. He believes that the flag stands for having the freedom to do whatever you want in your country, in the country you live in. The flag represents that freedom, right? And I would argue that some people think the Australian flag means the same thing. And I've seen many people spout this same viewpoint. The flag represents our freedom as a nation to be however we want to be, to do whatever we want to do. And then they will turn around and attack minorities and believe that those people shouldn't have rights. And I feel like they've just completely contradicted themselves in the one sentence. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. Well, true. But in terms of the legality of burning the flag of the country you live in, it is symbolic freedom of speech which the government cannot and should not punish you for. That was established in some fucking lawsuit that I've forgotten. In America, at least, in America. I don't know the policy on burning the flag in Australia, and I don't quite care at this minute. But you know what? I'm gonna go. We might as well do it on stream tomorrow for the lulz, see if I get arrested. How about I get a little, like just a tiny little paper one, and I'll burn it here in my room. 1989 Supreme Court said burning a flag falls under their First Amendment of free speech. Symbolic free speech in this circumstance. He burned a flag as a fuck America symbol. And people burn effigies of everything. Notice a lot more people with anime photos who are hardcore K-pop fans having some unsavory racist views. Yeah, I've noticed that too with like furries. Radio Broken sounds good. Sounds good. But yeah, that's a whole thing. That's a whole discussion. Excuse me. This kind of stuff is always... Hang on a sec. Like, there's stuff like this as well. The right can't meme. I don't always get impeached, but when I do, I get re-elected. Except he didn't. Hey Mark, I'm getting bullied. I'll log every... Like, what does that even mean? Anyway, I think you get the gist. Court case Texas v. Johnson, 1989. Yeah, this was the one that Shu mentioned, I think. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one that Shu on Head mentioned in her video, which is worth watching. She made a video about flag burning. Who gives a flying kiss if we burn stuff? There's a lot of these patriots. A lot of these patriots feel really passionate about the existence of the flag, and it's like, it's a piece of fabric. And the arguments they love to bring up, one of the arguments that the patriots love to bring up, which again was mentioned in Shu's video, was that, oh, what about those people that burned the Black Lives Matter flag or that burned the queer flag? And in both of those circumstances, they burned a pride flag, burned the Black Lives Matter flags, the flags were stolen from churches and then burned, so it wasn't their property. That's the reason those people got charged for burning those flags, because it wasn't their property. They didn't own it. They didn't have the authority to do that, and that's why they got charged. I don't understand how that's a difficult concept. Should we talk about networking? Should we switch to the actual topic of the stream? Buy a flag, burn it. And then you just give money to the people who made the flag in the first place. Like, if you go and go ahead and buy a pride flag and burn it. Please do. Give money to the people making the pride flags. I need to buy one myself, actually. I'm going to put a trans pride flag either... Where are we? On that wall, like right behind my bed head, or there next to the window. Which one? Steal a flag and gift it. Steal a flag, then burn it. That's what we were just saying is not a thing you should do. That's what has led to people getting arrested. Although, yeah, if you are the kind of person who wants to burn a flag, please, if you want to burn a gay pride flag, please steal it from someone else and burn it. Please steal another person's property and burn it. Because I want to see you go to prison. On that wall over there, what do you think? Like above the pillow head, above the head, or there? I think on the other spot, I'm gonna put like some fake foliage there or something. I haven't decided yet. I want to decorate a bit, but I'm gonna order my trans flag soon. If you burn things, you better have paid for it, because stuff costs money. It does. Yeah, homeroom teacher and a few of your classmates used to give you strange looks when you didn't stand for the pledge. I don't agree with any sort of national anthem stuff, or the Pledge of Allegiance, or any of that kind of thing. It's creepy. It creeps me out. It's really, really disturbing. The propaganda that we are taught as children to stand for the national anthem and recite it and know the words, even though nobody knows the second verse of the Australian national anthem. Literally nobody does. If you Google it and paste it in my chat, you're a dipshit. You don't know the lyrics to the second stanza of the national anthem of Australia. No one does. We, like, even though we can read it on the signs in primary school, nobody remembers it. Nobody ever sings it either. Yeah, socially conditioned for this, and you in this case with the old one out, exactly. Basically word for word what Matt Dillahunty said, and you largely agree with that. Yeah, it's absolutely, and I want to do a stream, I want to do a discussion on propaganda, social conditioning, and the fucking word that comes up in indoctrination. The word indoctrination comes up a lot in Mass Effect, which is what I was going to reference. We get indoctrinated as children. There's a lot of propaganda, a lot of patriotism in schools. And to think Donald Trump was considering adding more patriotic education to public schools in America is absurd. Because I know already that...
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the Rogue Room, me, 130573. Thank you for the hydration, mate. How you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, chuck a 5-minute part of Chomsky's manufacturing consent to the Discord, sure. I need to watch some Chomsky, I think. Noam Chomsky. Chomsky, mate. Oh, Mel 30573. Sorry, I didn't see that. I thought it was a 1. Mel, how you doing? Could be better. Most indoctrination is counterproductive. Well, ideally. We hope it's counterproductive and doesn't actually result in anything and people break free from it, but unfortunately, I know that's not true. I see a lot of people who are just completely absorbed by stupid ideas. All good in your sunburn? That's not good. I had sunburn on my shoulders recently. It's like flaking off now, so it doesn't hurt anymore. But, oh god. So the second verse of the Australian national anthem is "Our home and native land, true patriot loves something something hockey." Always felt weird with the pledge after you turn 9. It is a weird thing.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Pigaletto tu papi. I don't know what that means, but welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, enjoy your stay with us. Chill out with us. Canada. I do know a bit of Canada's national anthem, regretfully. But we were on the subject of indoctrination. This is what comes up a lot with social circles. Is you will find a lot of people, of course, coming back to the thing about the Solomon Asch test. I tried to bring this up yesterday and I couldn't get my point across because it wasn't relevant. But in this circumstance, it is relevant. For those of you who watch Cancelled, you'll know what the Solomon Asch test is. But if you don't, Solomon Asch in the 1950s got a bunch of people together in a room and gave them a board with 3 lines on it of different length and 1 line over here. And this line was a match for one of the lines over on this one. And the audience had to pick which one was the matching line, right? And everyone, I think it was 8 contestants. He did this test multiple times. He had eight people in the room. 7 of them got the answer wrong. Like they matched the wrong line, so they had to match this line to whichever line that was the same length. 7 of them got it wrong, and 33% of the time, the 8th person got it wrong because mob mentality kicked in. And I think this is relevant to basically what it means is like social pressure. If you've got 7 other people in a room suggesting an idea, it's going to be harder for you as an individual thinker to disagree with them because you're going to be looking at every other person in the room and they might be saying really horrendous things. And you either have to agree with them due to the social pressure or you have to shut your mouth about it. So 33% of the time in Solomon Asch's test, the final person would get the answer wrong as well, like everyone else did. Now, the reason that I bring this up is like the 7 other people in the test were told to give the wrong answer to enforce that idea of social pressure. Now, of course, 67% of the time, the final... I keep going to say contestant, but that's not really the right answer. The final person in the room did get the answer correct, but there is a pretty significant factor of if you're surrounded by people who have a certain ideology, say in the workplace, if you're in the break room and everyone else in the break room is discussing Australia Day, talk about Australia Day, you will get... You'll feel that intense pressure. It's like, I disagree with Australia Day. I think it's Invasion Day. I think it's explicitly harmful to native people. Excuse me. And that's a very important factor when it comes to developing a social network is you will be observing the behaviors of those around you, the opinions of those around you. And if you're trying to grow your social standing, you're trying to increase your level of influence, which is another thing I want to talk about the circle of influence. If we're going to talk about this again, you got to step out for a minute about the white supremacy thing or no, not Australia. I think that's just going to be a brief touch on that. But what are you talking about specifically? Magical cloth that freedoms. What was it? Oh, the allegiance to a flag. What even is the flag? Yeah, the flag thing is such a pain in the ass. I do not like flags. I hate looking at it. I hate looking at the Australian flag in particular. It looks imperialist. Yeah, no, we're not talking about Australia Day today. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We have touched on it, but I want to talk about it tomorrow. Or rather, the subject of patriotism in particular, and why that whole topic is a mess. Social Network is intriguing to you and you've watched it multiple times. You know it's not entirely based on facts, but you sort of equate it to watching Titanic multiple times because you want it to end differently. I know what you mean. Kind of funny how they portrayed him in the end of that, like... Can I spoil the Social Network for anyone who hasn't seen it? They go out of their way to portray Mark Zuckerberg as someone who is pining for a lost love. But he's married. Like, that never happened. But anyway, that's beside the point. Sorry if you're derailed. That's alright. You're alright. You've heard it so many times. Yeah, I know the ideas you're going for. And we might touch on the topics of it tomorrow. Why it's such a bad thing. Why things like Independence Day in America. Well, maybe not Independence Day. There might be something similar. in America that sort of celebrates the birth of a nation, which of course would be harmful to Columbus Day. That might be it. Yeah, I don't know all that much about American history, honestly. Regretfully, I know enough, but of course I live in Australia, so that wasn't exactly the focus of my own education growing up. But going back to that mob mentality thing, that test, that kind of explains the way we feel when we're surrounded by people who think a certain way about a thing. It tends to manipulate us. At first, there is the social pressure, the fear that if you express a deviant opinion, you will be ostracized for it. And that can then evolve into beginning to believe the things everyone else does, which is why that whole thing is incredibly dangerous. So your circle of influence can lead you down darker paths, which is something I kind of experienced for a while a couple of years ago. I think I was just in the wrong crowd, and I started consuming the wrong sort of media that would convince me of certain things. And hello Nevo, how you doing? What's going on? When he discovered America and gave the natives smallpox blankets, that's always just, what a delightful person. Anyway, yeah, this is what I was sort of getting at, is the pressure of being around a group of people who have toxic ideas and all of that can inevitably lead to you believing those things. It can take a lot of mental fortitude to resist believing the things that
Welcome to the
people
Room.
around you believe.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
112, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. How you doing? Where was I going with that? I had a point. Fuck, I've forgotten. I suppose like it all comes down to... And the thing is, loneliness can do this too. It's not just being in a group of people. Like if you're in a workplace environment, in the in the break room,
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Any other social
We
setting.
hope you enjoy your stay.
Hablo is Fortnite Lord 6969. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. How are you doing? A few years ago, Facebook was actually a viable way to promote your work if you were a creator, because you felt like your reach was legitimately larger than it is now, since they greatly limit who sees it. Well, yeah, that's how it goes with every social network. If it grows big enough, eventually the benefits of it are going to outweigh. And I think I've missed the boat on TikTok, so I'm not even going to bother with TikTok at this point. I do not see myself gaining any foothold on TikTok. I missed the boat completely. So I think every time there's a new social network, if you want to take advantage of it, if you want to capitalize on it, you got to do it instantly. You got to get in there right away. You can still blow up on those kind of platforms after the fact, but getting in early is crucial. You went through a few months a while back where you only listened to conservative media because you wanted to know what they were saying, and you started to think some shitty things until you really thought about them and snapped out of it. Exactly. That's where I was. And when you're surrounded by people who are parroting those things, like this is the problem with, say, you hear stories every so often about a queer kid living in rural America where everyone around them explicitly hates queer folks. And the kid's like, how am I going to get out of this situation? I can't come out to my family. They'll hate me for it. They'll ostracize me, make me homeless or whatever. Chances go up that they're going to get killed for being queer in any way, shape, or form. And that's really toxic to people. And in some cases, it's just a case of you grow up around an environment of a certain train of thought, and you either adopt that train of thought to survive, you adopt that train of thought to fit in with everybody else, or you try to buck the trend and ostracize yourself. And July 4th is much more important to Americans than Columbus Day. Good thing America is starting to get rid of Columbus Day, because F that guy. Well, yeah, fuck that guy. TikTok seems to have so many follow for follow types right now, and it's sickening. You just want to yell at everyone and tell them it's definitely not a way to grow your platform, because you are not going to have time to watch everyone's content. I don't watch people on TikTok. I have no interest in actually... This is why I've given up on the idea, I think, of posting content on TikTok. I see this so often. And this, again, comes back to the follow for follow thing with regards to Twitch. I see so many people saying, TikTok is such a great way to grow your platform. But, like... TikTok is really accessible to get people to watch your videos because they're only like maximum a minute long. Versus if you put out a YouTube video or if you're doing a live stream, it's harder to get people to watch the whole thing because you're going to have to be live or you're going to have to put out 10 minutes or more of a YouTube video or whatever. It's a lot less accessible. Whereas TikTok is very accessible because people are just scrolling and then they get recommended your video without even choosing it. Versus other options where they have to actively make a decision to watch whatever's on. Hang on a second, I'm going to fix something here really quickly. Personalize. I'm going to change my background here to a single picture. Where are my desktop backgrounds? This one. There we go. Perfect. Alright, that's nice. That's some good shit, mate. Alright, that's better. I wanted to change my background to this permanently because it keeps switching to that red one and it makes my face look stupid with the bright red all over me. But yeah, the follow for follow thing, which was what I was going to try to talk about before, but we got completely derailed. Holy fucking shit. I see this a lot. I can't speak again. I've seen this a lot, not just with streaming, right? A lot of YouTube groups, sub for sub, you know, watch for watch. There are people who will literally DM you and say, I'll get your watch time up. And what they mean is they'll play your videos. But, you know, if you're making YouTube content, I dare say you want people to actually watch the content, not just have it running on a tab muted in the background, personally. I would not want people watching my content but not watching my content, if you get the gist of what I'm saying here. And a lot of people seem to slip into this idea that follow for follow is going to get them somewhere, like boosting your imaginary internet points, your follow count, your sub count on YouTube, follows on TikTok, like you said, the follow for follow thing. Instagram, there's a lot of... Honestly, I'm going to say it really feels like the OnlyFans community is heavily built on follow for follow from what I've seen. All of these OnlyFans girls are all following each other and retweeting each other's shit like constantly. It's very insistent, very consistent. And I see it among certain members of the streamer community. I've seen certain people who will run a streaming group and you'll see them put their... You'll see people who are otherwise not affiliated with a certain streamer or a certain group or whatever, just putting a tag at the end of their Twitter handle. I'm not going to specify what specific tags, you can figure it out for yourself. But I see this a lot, and all they'll do is they'll retweet other streamers, they'll say, or they'll do this fucking thing that annoys the absolute living shit out of me. You'll see these threads where it's just like, you should check out these awesome streamers, and then it's like 40 tweets of tags. Who's that benefiting? Honestly, like, who is that actually benefiting? Do you think all of those streamers you've tagged are then going to go and follow each other and watch all of each other's content? Is that what you think's going to happen? Hey, Get a Hinge, how you going? You will fully admit to watching a couple of friends' YouTube channels while you are legitimately watching another friend's YouTube channel. I'm sure they appreciate it. I would just prefer if people were watching my content and not just leaving it on in the background with the volume muted or something like that. Please watch the actual content. You know, that's what I want. Speaking of, I'm just going to check something really quickly. I had so many problems uploading a new Twitch highlight from last night's stream. I had the issue of the outro song, which previously wasn't copyrighted, is now copyrighted, so I can't use it. So I had to change it back to my old one. And then I re-uploaded it, but for some reason the video was a black screen, and now I've re-uploaded it again. So 3 uploads today, which was a pain in the ass. Hello, Dr. Bolo. How you doing? How you doing? You're super tired, Hinch. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you either wake up or you're ready to go to bed soon. You're gonna watch my latest video essay later. Thank you. I am going to try my best to get another video essay out by the 19th of February. I could shoot for 14th of February and change the topic. Because, you know, the 14th of February. You know what the 14th of February is. I am considering... This is the problem, is like I haven't set myself on a video for February yet. And I hate that. And I'm really honestly a little bit annoyed that I didn't think to do a video relevant to tomorrow's events. And I may still do that. Maybe there's another public holiday. Maybe I could do it in relation to a different international nationalist holiday. I don't know. Going to sleep with your channel body pillow. Nice, nice. You like the lighting in my room? Thank you. I'm quite happy with it at the moment, but I want to add more stuff. I want to add lighting to these shelves. That's my next big thing. I want to add lighting to my shelves. But I just got lights for behind my bed, which looks pretty cool. And of course we've got fairy lights over there. And 1, 2, 3 smart lights, which are all running at different colors. I want someone to take me to Wendy's. Although Wendy's here in Australia is a different thing. Where's my lighting app? I can fiddle with my lighting over here. Where is it? Here we go. I can set this one to red. Look at that. That's kind of romancy, isn't it? What do you think? I like the blue though. I like the... Oh, wow. That's a lot darker than I anticipated. Was it? Oh, no, I changed the wrong color. I changed the wrong light. Oops. What were you set to? You were set to... purple. That's magenta. You were set to purple. Oh, hang on. I've got a scene set up. Like, my app has got a thing where it's got, like, different scenes. So I can set it so it's like it's got all 3 of the lights covered at once. Blue makes you more sleepy. I mean, it does look quite nice if I were to say... Actually, you know what I haven't done yet? How does this look if I turn things off? Like, I mean... It's kind of chill, isn't it? I could set that to blue. Pretty chill, cozy vibe. Color changey. But yeah, I do need lights for you to be able to see me. So... We're gonna... I want to get stuff here behind my monitors. There is something I've been looking at on the subject of lighting. Is it on my Amazon wishlist? Yeah, hang on. I think. Let me see here. I did recently buy some effective Elgato key lights, but not really. But I don't have the room for them yet. These things. I want to get these light stand things and put them behind my monitors, but I don't have $214.96. And as you may have noticed, my current goal is for a new camera, which will be about $1,000 because cameras are stupid expensive. Fucking Christ, dude. Cameras are fucking expensive. And even then, that's not even just the cost of the camera. That would be the cost of getting Camlink, I believe. Elgato Camlink or something similar to actually hook up because I want a professional video camera that has like 4K or something. So I can stream in super high definition and record videos in super high definition. I want you to see the pores on my face. Much as I hate the idea because I still have beard shadow that I cover up with makeup. I'm going to freely admit that right now. The laser hasn't taken everything away yet. But new light hype. Yes, indeed, Badger. That over there behind the bed. It's got colors. Look at it go. It goes all the way to blue. Anyway. We'll leave it on the pink. That's the pink. I believe, yeah. Looks pretty good. Do you guys deal with anxiety? Here's a question for you. Which is honestly pretty tricky to discuss, I think. Because if you... I've actually reached out to a person who I said I wanted to talk to them about autism. Because they're autistic like me. We talked about the whole autism thing yesterday. I'm not going to revisit that topic. Just read the chat rules. Common sense, you're not going to fit in. But like, I deal with anxiety quite often. But of course, anxiety has multiple forms, multiple definitions, I think. The definition of anxiety, medically, I'm not quite sure of what the actual definition of it is. I mean, obviously, it's a mental disorder. But you can have anxiety without having, not beyond blue. I don't want to go to beyond blue. You can experience symptoms of anxiety, without considering yourself a generally anxious person. I think there are some people who are actually, basically constantly on edge. It's largely why you're an alcoholic. You used to be crippling anxiety, but got better after you transitioned and stopped drinking. Still have it, just less. Yeah, I still experience it, especially being out in public, even wearing a mask, even wearing makeup and wearing a mask, even wearing a dress and all that sort of stuff. I still get worried about people clocking me, especially now. Previously, I don't know why I had such anxiety, but I guess the issue with it is that, realistically speaking, I suppose, you can't control if your body has this panic response. And particularly when you have some like perceived threat going in your head. And this is, again, this comes back to the networking thing. This is an issue that I've got personally. This is why I decided to make this tonight's topic. Not just anxiety, but personal relationships, networking, networking in a professional sense and in a personal sense. Because making friends is networking, right? And the main source of my anxiety is reaching out to somebody and trying to bridge a gap that wasn't there, to build that bridge that wasn't there before, I should say. And I've had this problem my entire life, somehow I have managed to go this long, and have made as many friends as I have, both online and off. And yet, repeatedly, continually, routinely, I am looking at the idea of reaching out to people and trying to make those connections, trying to build new, strong friendships. And it's always terrifying. The idea, I don't understand, I cannot fathom being in the mind of somebody who is able to be so extroverted and able to just go up to somebody new and talk to them and make a new friend. That's a concept that completely eludes me. I don't know what it is. I don't know. This is the thing I've heard. Rumor has it that even extroverts experience this kind of anxiety towards meeting new people. But there's just something about them that allows them to, they have a certain level of confidence that overwhelms that potential anxiety for meeting a new friend. I think I've heard this from a lot of people who are really, really... I've met numerous people throughout my life that are stupidly confident and can just walk up to anybody. And I cannot fathom ever doing that. It's really just a thing that... If someone comes up to me for the first time and I've never interacted with them, my heart races. I have no idea what they're going to say to me, what kind of attitudes they're going to express to me. And that puts me super on edge. Heart rate through the roof, panicked breathing, which is especially difficult nowadays wearing masks. I don't need panicked breathing when my breathing is already kind of limited. I mean, I can wear a mask for hours at a time. I don't have a problem with that, but, don't make me panic, please. Hello, Midnight, how you doing? Haven't gotten diagnosed for anything because you're scared. I can understand that. Trying to get a diagnosis for something is terrifying. Don't open messages right away and leave them sitting there for days because you're scared of what they say. I know that feeling, especially if someone is potentially angry with you for whatever reason. And I experience that now, going through YouTube comments, notifications on YouTube. More often than not, I'm going to open up my notifications on YouTube and I'm going to see some bullshit, but that doesn't give me as much anxiety. It doesn't stress me out as much. Because I know those people are stupid. You're not sure what happened, but somewhere between then and not, you turned introverted as all hell. Then and now, you turned out introverted as all hell. The confidence, like you were being the extrovert and then you turn into an introvert. It's interesting how that happens. Like our psychology can shift so dramatically. Seemingly on a dime. Seemingly without much in the way of our own influence. Without much in the way of our own... let me think. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Like we didn't opt for it. It's just something that we ended up experiencing. You hear stories of people who are suffering from like PTSD regarding an event and they become agoraphobic. They can't leave their house anymore. It's terrifying to go outside, the dread of what you might experience. I imagine some people would be terrified of the pandemic situation so much that they don't need a lockdown. The lockdown just happens automatically because they can't fathom going out into a world where they might catch a deadly virus. I did say hello, Midnight, didn't I? Yes, I did. The social anxiety you get is you don't think people are going to like you. You always had self-esteem issues. You're afraid of boring people because your disposition is usually pretty glazed over. Now, that's completely understandable. Especially the I don't think people are going to like me thing. Like, that's another thing that I've had an issue with trying to approach people that I want, especially people I want to collaborate with. Even if I'm already an established friend of theirs, trying to reach out to somebody and like, let's do something together. Is that like the worry is they're going to see me as someone who's trying to leech off their success, or yeah, the worry of trying to meet new people is that, and this is why I don't, I've had this problem for the longest time, and it's why Tinder was so great for a good while there. I would see a girl I found attractive and I would try to, build up the courage to approach her. And I would always have that response of, they're not going to like me. They're going to hate me. They're going to say that I am creepy or whatever it is. So as a result, yeah, I just don't want to be a bother. That's completely understandable, completely relatable. It's insane too, because those people end up liking you in large parts. So the fear is nonsensical. It's a phobia, effectively. Like, that kind of social anxiety is almost always a phobia. And a phobia, for anyone who is not caught up on this, phobia is an irrational fear. So even in the face of overwhelming personal experience and evidence that suggests that people like you and that you are a likable person, even amidst all of that, you could still have those moments where you're looking down the barrel of meeting a new friend. I mean, even if I'm going to a social event with, like, say my sister has taken me out with friends a few times now and I've had to meet someone new, even if I know everybody else except this one new person, I'm terrified of that one new person. How am I going to know how they're going to react to me? And like, not to put myself on a pedestal here, but how are they going to react to me as a trans person as well? Quite honestly, amusingly enough, I don't care so much if anyone has a problem with me as a gay person, as a lesbian. But the trans thing, I do have a lot of fear about that. What's your attitude towards me going to be like? You have depression and anxiety, but you're legitimately mad at your GP for just prescribing medicine without recommending psychologists or psychiatrists and without recommending any kind of alternative healing. You fully opened the meds and then had a full-on panic attack, taking the meds and decided not to. Yeah, like, this is the kind of the problem with GPs. I've noticed. I've expressed my malcontent with GPs in the past, especially regarding when I was going through a severe depressive episode and I needed help, and I was going through panic attacks almost daily before work. I would wake up and I'd just absolutely lose my shit. My heart would be pounding. I'd have to call in and I'm just like, I can't work today, I'm fucking dying. And I went to my doctors, and of course, like, it's understandable that the doctor was saying to me, we want to get you back to work. But the way he phrased it, it's like, we want to get you on some treatment so you can get back to work, really kind of pissed me off in a lot of ways. And I ended up leaving that job, which was a far better treatment than any drug you could prescribe me. Like, a lot of the times, the drugs for anxiety and depression, especially depression, have the unfortunate and very prominent side effect of completely flattening your emotions. You have no emotional depth anymore once you're on antidepressants. Everything is smoothed out to make you productive. That's kind of the issue. Get that anxiety, you're coping with that is trying to fit in with them by being cool. That's another thing. I used to do that for the longest time. I tried to be as cool as I possibly could. And looking back, fucking cringe. Fucking cringe. Like, there was a lot of cringy moments. I'm sure we all revisit those from time to time. You feel like the world... Excuse me. You feel like the world, or at least Australia, is only just starting to largely accept gay and trans people. It feels like 10 years ago, there was a huge gay panic situation, going back even like 20 years. There was a long period where gay acceptance had a long way to go, and it feels like in the last 10 years or so, we've shifted forwards quite a bit, and now the major queer issue seems to be trans people and bisexuals. The acceptance of bisexuals for some strange reason. It's like, why do people have an issue with bi people all of a sudden? Especially members of the queer community who are going, oh, you're not a real queer person if you're bi and you date someone of the opposite sex, or whatever, who cares? Stupid issue. But yeah, Do I watch How I Met Your Mother? I've seen a bit of it. I'm not a huge fan of it, honestly. Not the funniest show on the planet. At the very least, I haven't, and I've had a good time of my transition here in Australia. They gave me informed consent for my HRT. It's been pretty cruisy, and I believe at least a chunk of the cost of transition surgeries may be taken up by Medicare. So if that ever does become a reality, which it's not likely to do in my lifetime, honestly, I do not see myself earning the income necessary to get those surgeries. I just don't think it's possible. What was I going to say? Yeah, it feels like Australia is largely accepting on an institutional level, but of course you run across many, many people who do not bother to understand gender dysphoria, who do not understand transgender identity, or any of that kind of stuff, do not understand non-binary people. Like, there's a whole problem that goes far beyond what the society, the institution will allow you to do.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Private Sarah 26, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. We hope you're doing well. The government funds surgeries for trans people. That's good. That's good. As far as I know, Medicare covers a fair chunk of it, but it's still like full reassignment surgery is like $30,000 minimum. And if I'm not mistaken, you still have to pay the full cost up front, and they rebate you the rest, which is not at all an ideal situation, especially for someone like me, who is very poor. Your social anxiety is kind of through the roof when you go to public places, when you see that we are basically the only people wearing masks. So unless you get the job you applied to most recently, you think you're just not going to go out in public again until after you get the vaccine. That's a good thing, yeah. Wait for the vaccine. Bisexuals are unpredictable. People don't like uncertainty. That's your theory. Bisexual men get the worst of it, do they? I've seen a lot of people who are like attacking bisexual women for dating a dude. And it's like, they're still bisexual. They're still queer people. It's really weird that they would go so picky about that. I don't know why they've sort of brushed that aside. It's a really bizarre thing to isolate bisexual people from the queer community. Yeah, I've considered the surgery. I am talking to my endocrinologist again soon, so I might actually discuss the pricing and get a proper... maybe I'll get a proper price gauge from the endocrinologist. She should know, I think. We did talk about it last time. We did talk about all of the situation with transition surgery and all of that. So I might end up asking her about that and try to get a gauge on how much money I would need to do it. Your stepbrother is 12 years older than you, and when he came out it was a big deal, like family judging him hard. Now you have kids and you explain to your 10-year-old daughter that he is gay, and her response was, oh, okay. Yeah, people are definitely a product of their environment. As a society we grow older, we'll get better. Arguably. I think the problem with bigotry is, though we try to push it back, especially in major metropolitan areas, the issue is smaller rural areas where those ideas can fester, where they don't have as much outside influence. Even with the advent of the internet, we've got a cat now. Even with the advent of the internet, I've noticed there are certain areas in the world where the reason there is so much bigotry is because they are otherwise cut off from the rest of the progressive society. And the thing is, if they can manage to gain any influence outside of those areas, they can continue to spread those toxic ideas that... But yes, generally speaking, people are a product of their environment. And I do believe things are getting better over time. But it is a worry to think just how much influence, especially with social media, with content creation and things like that. Like we mentioned Isaac Butterfield before. Someone who's got 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube, or whatever number it is that he's got a significant amount of influence, and he frames his attacks on minorities as comedy. So people will watch his content and then they will go and parrot his jokes and things like that, not realizing the harm they're doing with his jokes. And those can be transphobic, homophobic, especially the cocksucker thing. He says cocksucker so much, which is explicitly a homophobic slur. Explicitly. Because it's saying to... And the reason it's homophobic. Obviously, you know, if there's a bloke sucking a dick, that's gay. But it also, when you call someone a cocksucker and when you demean them for that sexual act, you are saying that you see that person as inferior, first of all, and that puts the idea in people's heads that, of course, gay people are inferior as a general. I don't know what a general is, as a general idea. So even using those kinds of terminologies as a joke, like I said, people with big platforms, people with lots of influence, and this is the problem with YouTube. I've noticed there's a lot of reactionary types on YouTube, a lot of anti-progressives. For those of you who are like the rules have just said, don't be a reactionary, I really need to trim those rules down, I think. I thought having 10 rules would be a cool idea, but I'm now looking at this entire paragraph. I'm like, duh. But reactionary means anti-progressive. It means someone who doesn't like all the social progress that is being made, even amidst the UK puberty blocker situation, which is explicitly regressive and transphobic, and it fucking sucks. And I hope we can shift that back around again and bring trans kids back their rights. My cat is moving around. What are you doing? It's also targeted at women and seeing women as less... Exactly. Just demeaning anyone who happens to suck a dick. And it's like, how is that any of your business, first of all? Why are you demeaning a person for their own bedroom activities? So you hate that you were this way at all, but for a large chunk of your life you were a bigot. Your family was extremely adamant about being against gay people, and they straight up disowned your uncle who was gay, but once you were around 18 you started opening your mind and heart. Well, it's good to hear that you opened your mind and heart. There are a lot of people who won't. There are a lot of people who won't open their minds and hearts. And I used to be one of those people, and I will freely admit this. I will continue to go on about this. I was homophobic and transphobic, and fatphobic is one of them as well. That was pretty prominent for a while there. Ableist, probably, using the R slur a lot. And it's one of those things where it's like with the gay people thing. It was, as long as they leave me alone, I don't care. And with the trans people thing, it's like, oh, well, they can identify however they want, but keep it away from me and all that. Like, the video Transphobia by PhilosophyTube is really good at explaining all of this, and I want to rewatch it because it's such a good video. Yeah, like, there were definitely periods of my life where, and this is the thing with these people, right? And this is the thing with the kind of content they're consuming is hugely important in this. The kind of things they're being told that are being parroted to them on a daily basis, both by the media they consume and by the people in their social circles, right? Is they are constantly having these ideas reinforced that it's just jokes, or they think they're just, it's just, well, yeah, the just jokes thing, first of all. Or they don't think that they think that the whole, as long as, I don't care if they're gay, as long as they keep it away from me thing, they think that's acceptance. Or like they'll say, the trans Jedi thing. Remember the trans Jedi thing? Disney saying they're going to add a trans Jedi. I don't even remember. Like, I only saw a line in an article that said there's a rumor Disney will add a trans Jedi. That was it. That's all the information we have on that particular subject. No further details. But that was another one of those things where it's like, these people will go out of their way as far as they possibly can to justify their transphobia by saying, oh my god, they're pandering to the SJWs. All that kind of shit. And they'll justify it by saying shit like, oh, well, Disney's just pandering. Disney's just trying to capitalize on the SJW trends or whatever it is, as if we don't deserve representation in media in the same way that a white, straight, cis male does. That's always the thing. Like, if they were to announce the next installment, Uncharted is a good example, right? You've got Uncharted, Drake's Fortune. That whole series was Nathan Drake. And then I think it was a spin-off of either the second game or the third game, or the fourth game, I can't recall which, but it wasn't the first one. There was a spin-off where you play as a woman, and people lost their shit about that. You can't take away Nathan Drake from us. Like, the moment you take away the cis white straight male protagonist in media, they flip their fucking lids. It's absurd, and they say that it's an SJW agenda to try to change, like, why is representation wrong? Or like Finn in Star Wars. You'll be back, Monarch Radio. Sounds good. We might take a Be Right Back segment in a minute, actually. Why did that not get caught by my bot filter? By the way, you've got Prime Gaming. I can see you've got that Prime Gaming badge. Where are my mods, by the way? Can you at least subscribe if you're going to insult me? Can you at least subscribe? Please? I think that is in the rules. Oh no, it used to be in the rules. It used to be in the rules. Hate speech is not free speech. Stay on topic. No, I took it out of there. But it is in. It's like it's an unwritten rule. If you're going to insult me, you need to subscribe. That's a rule of the stream. So use your Prime Gaming and sub to me. That's the rule. You have to do that. How do I... Here we go. Let me just do this really quickly. You think Twitch will take my will take my report seriously if I oh, hang on, I gotta actually do the proper thing. Please subscribe. You owe me a subscription. You're banned, but you owe me a subscription. You dickhead. You owe me $5 or more than that. You owe me $5. Imagine being mad enough to come into a chat room and say that rather than just going to a different stream. This is what we were talking about before. It's like these people are so confident that Twitch is a cis straight place, you know? These kinds of people are so confident that Twitch belongs to the cis straight white males. And the reason is because Twitch won't do anything about that kind of thing. I reported them, of course I did. But nothing's gonna happen. So, I don't know. This platform sucks. But going to YouTube is not going to be any better either, because that kind of harassment happens over there as well. You met a dude that was bi and honestly cute and was kind of hitting on you and your at the time boyfriend. You're like, oh, I get it now. so you people can change their minds and their upbringing doesn't have to define their life. That's true. You're homophobic until you fucked a guy. This is the thing about that joke that I forget what his name is now. Chris D'Elia made. He made the joke about homophobes that if they are so blatantly obsessed with other people's sexual activities, if they are so obsessed with other people being gay, they must be suppressing some gay urges. I think there is a shred of truth to that, but I think it's also harmful to assert someone else's sexuality even in a joke, in any way, shape, or form. I think there is a lot of harm in that can actually ultimately make gay people look bad if you're asserting that people who are homophobic are actually closeted homosexuals. I do believe there is probably some psychological truth to it, in a way, suppressing and repressing and trying to deflect almost. But I think it's a dangerous water to tread, quite frankly. But, you know, there is obviously personal experience of numerous people to provide evidence for that. Anyway, I'm going to call a Be Right Back right there. We'll be back momentarily. If you want to skip the ads for the Be Right Back segment and keep listening to the music, hit the subscribe button. You should subscribe anyway, because I'm worth it. Okay. Back in a minute. How many of you are familiar with the concept of the theory of influence, or the circle of influence, I should say? How many of you have done any sort of management courses, or well, management in general? I mean, I'm not a manager by any stretch of the imagination. Don't wish that evil upon me. I would never in a million years want to be a manager, but at one point, I was obsessed with the idea of I need money, and thus I'll go do a management degree because I needed to get out of the position I was at the bottom barrel of society. And guess what that did? It didn't do anything. I also didn't finish that diploma. However, I did learn a few things, and one of those... By the way, I'm back. I don't know if you noticed. I'm here now. I need to get better at using my Stream Deck. It's all the way over here. But there you go. But I did 6 odd months of a diploma of management. Didn't take none of the concepts really stuck with me except the circle of influence. And specifically, the circle of influence concept relates to you're in the middle and you've got a circle of people around you. And that's your circle of influence. That number, if you've got 8 people that you're in charge of as a manager, if your department is 8 people, you've got that 8 people that is your circle of influence in this particular circumstance. And outside the circle of influence is the circle of issues or the circle of problems, or I forget what the actual phrase is for the outside circle, but every single person you're managing has got issues, and every one of their issues becomes your issue, especially if they're relating to work. And the circle of issues can never be smaller than the circle of influence. And this does in some ways, relate to streaming, I think. It does in some ways relate to the, especially as a creator trying to build their own circle of influence in order to get their content into more eyeballs, basically. You have to make yourself appealing to a significant number of people, and that significant number of people will become that circle of influence, inevitably. Now, I think once you get to a certain point as a streamer, once you get to a certain point where, you know, your chat's moving a mile a minute, and you can't possibly know every single person that's stopping by your streams because it's just too big. But I think the further you grow as a broadcaster, and honestly this is a goal of mine, this is a big goal of mine, is to be able to grow as large as I can as a broadcaster, to turn it, like I said, to turn it into a career. I don't have specific numeric goals for this sort of stuff. I just want to be able to turn it into a career. Entertainment. To be on camera, to be able to talk at length and have a significant number of people listen. But let's just say you're at partner level, 75 to 80 average viewers, significantly larger circle of influence than I have now, for example. When you're at that level, and you still have a significant amount of interactivity with your stream, that means you have not only do you have to know all of those people and be in some way relatable and close to them, but you also have to take on their burdens, which is something I think a number of people forget when they're trying to chase that streaming goal. Is the more that you grow your social network as a broadcaster, as a personality online, people are going to come to you with the issues in their personal lives. And I suppose in this circumstance, like, that's kind of what I've made my overall stream setting nowadays. That's kind of what this place is about, to a point. People come in here with issues that they've had either presently or in the past, and we can talk about them. And that's a good thing, I think. I think that's a good concept for a content creator. But, of course, it's no substitute for people who need actual therapy or things like that. I can't be a therapist. I'm not Dr. K. That's something I would like to expand more into, though, is the being an open forum of discussion for people who have things they would like to talk about at length. I feel like we've covered virtually all the topics I had in line for tonight. I was going to actually go back to the anxiety thing for a bit, because there is a bit here on healthdirect.gov.au which talks about the the concepts of anxiety in much greater depth than I could explain them on a medical level. But I don't know. What are you guys feeling right now? What are you guys thinking right now? What's going on? What's the happenings? Because I think we've sort of moved through most of the topics that I had. And one of the big ones, of course, that circle of influence thing, that management course I did, was a very, very shallow attempt to get, like I said, more money. Very shallow attempt to move beyond my existing circumstances. And now I am regretfully, like, there was a job listing for the company I used to work for. I'm going to complain about my own personal life for a minute. You guys can be my therapists for the moment. Ask me questions about me and see if I can answer them. Which I've noticed is a thing a lot of streamers tend to do. I've noticed there is a thing that some Just Chatting streamers tend to do, is rather than go see a professional therapist, they'll open up their stream, they'll go live, and they'll rant about the things that are going on that are affecting them in some way, shape, or form, and treat their chat as a therapist. Which is not really the best way to treat your mental illness, if you happen to have one. Not the best way to go about it, but by the same token, if it works for them, or if it brings them income, more power to them, you know? Not thinking anything in particular, just watching your 4-year-old son run around naked and shoot everything with a Nerf gun. I mean, that's fair. Excuse me. But yeah, I've recently been having some thoughts about my own income situation, which is not the best, not the greatest. I feel like I'm incredibly hindered by my limitations. My autism, in particular, makes it very difficult for me to even conceive of applying for jobs when every single job is saying you need years of experience in this field. And I know, like, that's a thing that I get anxious about. It's like, I want to find a job that I could be at and be comfortable in and try to bring in some real income for a change. Because at the moment I'm relying on a government benefit, and I was doing menu log delivery driving, doing food delivery driving, but I cancelled all of my scheduled shifts for this week because I'm having car troubles. I'm going to have to get that fixed soon. With what money? Because I'm now not going to be getting the money from those delivery driving things. And it's not a secure job, and there hasn't been enough orders. Like, orders have been dropping lately for some reason, so I haven't been making anywhere near as much as I would like to from that. Which just leaves me ruminating on a number of issues that I have in a financial sense, a number of issues I have in an economic sense, or on a social, institutional sense. You have the same job as you used to, or have you moved? I moved on from the supermarket job. I don't work for them anymore. There was no respect at that company, and I felt like I was just burning myself, on a weekly basis. I hated every single aspect of it. There was nothing there for me. They were one of those companies that use the term family. They would treat you as family, but family to them meant excess productivity. Basically, Marx's capitalism. Marx's writings on capitalism, they were a perfect example of it, We need you to do more work, but we're not going to pay you much more to do it. Especially when it came to the managers of the different departments in the store. They were paid, like, if I was doing 38 hours, which was full time for that company, if I was doing a 38-hour a week, 38-hour work week, and the manager of my department was also doing, 50 or 60 hours a week or whatever, because they often would, they would be paid the same as me, plus like a $50 bonus. I think that it was something like that. Like, they were paid the same as if a regular bottom rung worker was working a full work week. Like, their contracts basically said you get a full work week's wage plus $50, and that's it. No matter how many overtime hours you work, you don't get much. Don't let this distract you from the fact that McDonald's raised its price on their McChicken sandwich by 39 cents. Motherfuckers. This is the issue that I have. Let's talk about capitalism. This stream always comes back to capitalism. let's just say, for example, the situation in the US right now where people are arguing over they should raise the minimum wage. They should raise the minimum wage. But the problem is no matter how much you raise the minimum wage, if everything else is inflating at a higher rate than the minimum wage is being raised, then no matter what, you're still going to be getting people who are forced into poverty year after year as things get more expensive but they don't get more money. Or if they do get more money, they don't get enough money to keep up with the cost of inflation. And that's a very prominent issue. I'm seeing that at the moment. Am I okay? Good question. You'd love to quit, but you just can't afford it. That's another thing. I mentioned this on yesterday's stream, right? I mentioned this idea of how much do you own? How much do you really own? You know, think about if you are in a job where if you have to leave that job. Oh, Beth, I'll come back to your question in a moment. If you have a really good job, if you have a really solid job that's paying you $100,000 a year, that'd be nice. I'm hoping I can get something out of this sociology degree if I get into it this year. Fingers crossed for me, folks. Keep your fingers crossed that I can get a job of some sort with a sociology degree. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like think about how much stuff you own. If you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you have $100,000 a year job, and you have a nice car, and you have a nice house, and you've got a bunch of, you've got all your necessities covered, and you've got a bunch of luxuries. Maybe you've got a caravan or a boat or whatever. Who knows? Maybe you've got 2 cars. Maybe you've got a motorbike. You've got a nice big TV or whatever. But then, you know, pandemic hit, for example. And lots of people lost their jobs. People who were working really good jobs. How long, and like if you have that amount of money, with any luck you've got a life savings. I do not have savings. Can we throw that out there? I don't have savings. I can't afford it. Here I am, begging for a new camera. Buy my camera, fuckwits. I'm in a situation financially where I can't afford to save. No matter what kind of jobs I can go for, I don't have the income to save. But there are people who can, but then of course if they get hit with a pandemic situation or a family illness or a death or any big serious thing, all of that money that they could have, even if you are like middle class or what have you, whatever middle class is qualified as in this day and age, again, how much do you own? How much are you going to have to get rid of? Like if you have a mortgage, car payments, and you've got that really good job and you've got all that stuff, but if you could lose it in an instant because you lost that job, or if you lose that job and you have no way to pay for anything else that you've got to cover, your bills, again, the mortgage thing, car payments, any regular payments really. If you have to suddenly start selling everything you own in order to just cover the cost of living, what do you own? Yeah, medical bankruptcy, especially in the US, with the healthcare system over there. Absolute nightmare. I wouldn't want to live in America for that reason. I'm so glad we have Medicare here. Like, if there are some people who would go broke over an ambulance ride to the hospital, and that's before you even get to the medical treatment. Which is a nightmare. That should not be a thing for anyone, especially in a country as wealthy as the US. How has it helped or hindered your health in every aspect? You can fully relate in many ways, because to be honest, retail life sucks, and they do treat people like shit. I was constantly treated with disrespect there. I cannot imagine that, I cannot imagine my transition would have gone over well if I had done that at work, at that old job. Just stopping by to say you hope everyone is having an extra great day today. Thank you, Extra Larios. Thank you so kindly. Hope you're having an extra great day too. Dog shit, we give them all this money through tax and they're like, let's buy some tanks. Yeah, the military budget in the US is obscenely high. They do not, by any measure, need to spend as much as they do on the military. There is no justification for it, period. You have no real savings because, to be honest, you're super lucky your husband makes enough to cover our necessities once you lose your unemployment benefits, and only really because we rent this house from family at a significantly lower rate than even a one-bedroom apartment. Your mum had cancer, but if she didn't have insurance, the treatment would have been millions of dollars. That's absurd. Like, in what reasonable capacity? That's just absolutely absurd. Absolutely insane. That a person's health, an individual's health, can be a point at which can cripple them financially. You know, how is that at all? The fact that the US does not have universal health care at this point in its history absolutely baffles me. I would like to know the legitimate economic reason. There has to be, aside from pure greed. You know, a part of me is telling myself there has to be some kind of reasoning that is preventing them from doing it. And all I can think of is pure corporate capitalistic greed, embezzlement, all of that. I can't imagine there being an actual proper reason for it. If someone has the answer to that question, please hit me up. Had surgery in 2019, even with insurance, you're still paying off the bill. Somewhere around 12k in bills left to pay. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. The reasoning from the right is the free market handles healthcare better than the than the Fed. Well, that's obviously bullshit. You know, we can look at countries with socialized healthcare, like Australia, for example, and we can see that people are better off. Even though there are still expensive things. In terms of medical stuff, there's still expensive medical procedures. But nowhere near the level of America. No, like paying $3,000 for an ambulance ride, for example. If it's cheaper for someone to just stick someone who has been stabbed in the back of your car and so I've heard some people who've actually driven themselves to the hospital to get treated for this or that or the other when they have been entirely not in a state to drive. And then you've got the problem of, like, if you are in a state that is not fit to drive for whatever reason, maybe you could be overdosing on drugs, maybe you could be at a level of alcohol intoxication that you need to get your stomach pumped or whatever. I've heard stories of people driving to the hospital rather than calling an ambulance because they know they can't afford the ambulance cost on top of the medical cost of being in the hospital or whatever. There's no other thing it could be than greed. Exactly. I would like to see someone try to justify it to me. Play devil's advocate to me on this one. Like, what reasoning in depth do you have? I'm trying to think how would I Google this to find exactly what would I type in? What's the justification for the US not having socialized healthcare?
We hope you enjoy your
The Tone
stay.
Kid. That one kid. The Tone Kid. That one kid, 282. Thanks for the hydration and welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, chill out with us, and have a good old time. Don't think that in-depth reasoning exists. I'm noticing this more and more with right-wing arguments. It's like they don't have an in-depth justification for anything. Like, you can't argue against a certain thing based on emotions alone, and that seems to be what they largely do. On issues that could affect a lot of people, on issues that could help a lot of people. They will argue against it, again, from a reactionary viewpoint. They're anti-progressive. They're regressive. But they don't have a justification for any of their arguments. Take, for example, Ben Shapiro's thing about trans people. His video about trans people. He just doesn't understand transgender people. And that's his reasoning why Elliot Page is still a woman, whatever. You know, is that he doesn't get it. He thinks it's weird. Like, so you're admitting you don't have a legitimate reason to argue against the existence of trans people. Although he later goes in the video, one of the justifications they think they have is the bathrooms thing. It's like, what arguments do you actually have that have any valid reasoning? And the sad, depressing thing is that those arguments, especially pundits, who go out of their way to make arguments against legitimate practices, the arguments they often have spread like wildfire because they're easily accessible. People don't want to think about the nuance, they just want to be uncomfortable with a thing, and that's why they would vote against it. People are uncomfortable with the idea of socialized healthcare because socialism. And you know what? Socialism? The National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazis, were socialist. And that's one of the reasons that they will... Which is ironic considering, let's be honest with ourselves, the right wing are largely Nazis. Hello Zenki, how you doing? Welcome in. What's going on? US doesn't have socialized healthcare or even single-payer healthcare because certain individuals have tons of money in healthcare insurance. That's why they just want to make billions and don't care who gets hurt or dies along the way. Just let them. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. And how sustainable can that be? Ben went on a music theory mini rant that was entirely bullshit. You're an expert on it. It makes you wonder how stupid he sounds to experts in other fields. Yeah, that's another thing too. It's like he's one of those people who has a big enough audience that realistically he has, he's too big to fail, realistically. But he's constantly talking on topics he has no business talking on. And that's his entire shtick. Doing pretty good. I think you mentioned the period thing previously. Is it still going? Periods just plain old suck. I'm glad. I suppose I'm glad I don't have to experience those. That's a thing. Again, I have heard that taking estrogen can lead to period-like symptoms, but I am not 100% certain if I have experienced those yet or not. At the very least, I've not had like cramps or migraines or flushes or any of that. So that's a relief, I guess. Maybe one day further down the line when I'm taking a lot more estrogen. I'm on, what, 2 milligrams a day now? 2 milligrams of estrogen a day, I think, or is it 4 milligrams? Let's have a look. I got 1 milligram tablets. Yeah, 1 milligram tablets. And 50 milligrams of testosterone blockers. There we go. There's my medication. That's some good old content. All you want is a dick, but you gotta wait like 6 years. Why 6 years? Waiting list, or what's the deal there? On your way home from work, you were fantasizing that aliens would abduct you and make you a bio woman with lasers and math and shit, and that you could have a period and everything. Because you moved 1 micromillimeter in your body's like, oh, that was a thing. It's just, yeah. Awful. Truly atrocious. How dare periods be a thing? How dare they? I suppose that's one of the caveats of having been born with a dick and transitioning. They don't have to put up with that. And that's why the transphobes are really angry. That's why the TERFs are really angry. Because they have to put up with periods, and they know trans women don't. That's why they're all about that. You'll never know what it's like to push a life out of your sacred passage. That's what the TERFs are really angry about. Is the fact that trans women don't have to have periods. Just imagine. Imagine if we did. We could go down that road. Or randomly feeling kind of okay, then suddenly out of nowhere. Oh god. What can we discuss? I'm kind of out of content. I went over everything I wanted to talk about, but I'm like kind of, I don't know what to do next. There is a New York Times article I could click on. Fauci on what working for Trump was really like. Should we could talk about networking again if you want. We could. We could cycle back around to networking. Discuss people being dickheads. That's too broad of a topic. I need to narrow it down a bit. Or Fauci. I don't think I have much left in the networking space. Should we look at it? Can I read it? First of all, can I read it? Yes, there's no paywall. Good. Alright. Fauci on what working for Trump was really like. Let's have a look at this. Shall we? I need a different scene. Do we network with Fauci? I need to set up my game scene a bit differently. I need a different little thing over here. You know what I may do? I might do this. I might get rid of... Not that. Where is it? Hang on a sec. Give me a moment. Let me just change something. Camera source. Game camera. Alright, let me go over here for a sec. Look at me. Now I'm huge, and I'm bleeding over to the other side of the window. How does that happen? Oh, I know. I've left that graphic there. I've left this graphic here. Let's get rid of that. And let's shrink me down. I don't know why this scene is so wide. There we go. I'll do a border. I'll do up a new border for this scene. And I'll put you folks somewhere. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have to go back to this for a sec. Game camera. There we go. Is this a good spot? I think this is a good spot. Why do we have... Oh, hang on. I'll get rid of that. I've got stuff in here that's irrelevant. What we'll get rid of that one. And what I'll do is I will steal our just chatting box. We'll put that in here so you guys can see yourselves, because that's all nice to do, isn't it? Put it over that side. Or actually, I'll put it over this side. And can I shrink it? Oh no, I'll just put it over there. That's fine. That's a good spot. It's a good enough spot, I think. I think everything works now. And yeah, I'll fix up my my border later on. I'll put a border on this. I like the way this looks. From denialism to death threats, Dr. Anthony S. Fauci describes a fraught year as an advisor to President Donald J. Trump on the COVID-19 pandemic. I have only ever seen him referred to as Dr. Fauci. I didn't know his name was Tony. But here we are. Why do your earphones go to die like that? Well, I don't know. But that's awful. Audio tech is fucking garbage. You'd mask up with it. I thought his first name was Doctor, honestly. Hate the argument they try to have about surgery type stuff for trans people trying to fully transition. And for lady persons to get surgery to not have kids. You hate that there's this whole, but what if you... Oh my god. Someone did that to me recently. About me complaining... well, not complaining. She stopped to talk to me in the shopping center. And, she decided to mention to me... Like, I mentioned, you know, I want to have the surgery. I want to get rid of that whole thing. You gotta go, Zinky. Have a good one. Thank you so kindly for being here. I mentioned that, you know, I do want to have the surgery. I do want to do that thing. That whole thing. You'll be back. Radio sounds good. And yeah, they gave me the whole, what if you meet someone further down the line and they want to have kids? And I'm just like, I've got kids. I have no interest in dating someone who wants kids. I don't want more kids. I've got two. I'm good. I'm set. I do not need more children. Like, what a weird thing to prod me on. It's like, well, what if you change your mind later on? It's like, I don't want to change my mind later on. If we're being completely and totally honest, I didn't want kids in the first place. If we're being completely and totally honest, back when I was 15, I wanted to transition. And if I had transitioned, I definitely would not have kids today. But I do have kids and I adore them. They are great. But the reality of the situation is, you know, I've wanted to transition since I was very young. And pushed that whole thing aside. And I've always had a I don't want kids stance. But circumstances didn't play out that way. So it's really bizarre how many people think that's a legitimate thing to say to a person. It's like, what if you want kids later? What if you change your mind later? It's like, I am perfectly... People make significant decisions that greatly impact the trajectory of their lives all the time. And we can't be sitting on the idea of what if. What if I don't like the decision I made? Well, tough shit, you made the decision. Steph-tacular!
I see you've brought guests.
You've brought guests
Welcome,
to the Rogue Room.
friends.
Welcome in, friends. How are you doing? My name is Abigail. You can refer to me as that, or Rogue Bitch, or anything. Really, any of those things. How was your stream? What were you getting up to? I don't think I have any mods in chat at the moment. I'm going to do the shout out myself. Thank you so kindly. Pleasure to meet you. Love the, it's a dress, yeah.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Thanks some Final Fantasy VII Remake. How'd you go? Marlet Show, thank you for the follow. Welcome to, what's my little follow alert thing? And Grim Pixel.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. We hope you're having a lovely one. Hello, Richie. Hello, Plodsky. Hello, Grim. Hello, Sharky. What's
Welcome
going
to
on?
the Rogue Room.
Another one.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Spectacular. Where do I know you? Do I know you from Twitter? I feel like I know you from Twitter. Scrotal Captive. How you doing? Welcome in, everyone. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink.
We hope you enjoy
chill out
your
with us,
stay.
Steph. And Scrotal. Everyone. You do tweet. There we go. Bloody oi. What's going on, Plods? We were talking about Dr. Fauci's thing a moment ago. I forgot what. Well, we were talking about the thing of we were talking about the concept of what's it called?
You are now one of us.
Plodsky, thank you for gifting a tier 1 to Steph. I have been working on ideas for what I can do for subs at the moment. I have no clue. I want to do something for subs. I've got the sub lounge, but it's not that exciting. Enjoy your emotes, enjoy your ad-free viewing, and all of that nonsense. We were talking about the idea of when someone makes a significant change in their life, and the concept of what if you change your mind later, particularly pertaining to having children. And we mentioned how, you know, I'm trans, I'm interested at some point in getting the surgery, which would make me entirely infertile. And how somebody spoke to me recently and said to me, what if you meet a partner later down the track who wants to have kids? And how invasive of a question that is to anyone. For example, a woman who wants to get her tubes tied at 23 who's never had kids, or whatever. That whole idea of, and I for a long time before I came out, wanted to get situation down this. I think I need to go back to my GP and actually get them to sort that out as well, just in case. What a fucking question. I know, it's a bit rough, isn't it? It's like, what if you meet, what if you never want to have children in your life? Welcome back, Reaper, how you doing? You been lurking a while? How you been hanging, Richie? How's things? Went for your walk and grab some dinner. What'd you get for dinner? What'd you get? Dinner. I hope it's a good one. The whole, well, we have to have your husband's permission? Ooh. Wait, when talking to a doctor about, like, getting your tubes tied? Really? Is that a thing in America? How about it's none of your fucking business? Yeah, but it's like, that was the thing that, again, if situations had played out differently, I would not have kids today. If back when I was like 20, I went to my doctor and I'm like, I want to get snipped. And if the circumstances had not played out the way they did, if my history of the last 11 years hadn't played out the way that it did, and I had done that, you know, my life trajectory would be dramatically different. But you know, we can't change the past, of course. And yeah, like if you approach me with that question, I have children. If you come to me and you say, and I say, rather, I want to get the surgery. Yes, I know it'll make me infertile. And no, I don't want to bank any sperm. I don't want to do that. I don't care. I have children. So why then say to me, what if you meet a partner later who wants kids? We break up. Sorry. Like, even if I adore that person, if they are dead set on having kids, we break up. It's such a strange thing to ask a person. Why would you go out of your way to say, what if they want kids? It's like, not everyone wants kids. If I had the choice...
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Enzo.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
83. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. We hope you're having a good one. You don't want kids, you just want to meet a nice woman who will tie you up every once in a while. Dudes could just have a little 1 hour outpatient surgery without any questions for anyone. I wonder how that would go for me. I wonder how that would go if I were to go to my GP, who knows I'm trans. Plotsky!
Enjoy all the delights
Enjoy
of
the subscriber lounge. This is all I got. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. I'll give you this. Here's a sub bonus. Thank you so kindly for joining us in the sub lounge. We've got flashing lights now. I put light strips behind my bed. It looks fucking sick. Look at that. Ridiculous. But for some reason, don't ask me how I managed this. I was trying to turn it on last night. We'll come back to the kids thing in a second. The reds do the blues. The greens, I think, do the reds. And the blues do the greens. And it was fine yesterday until I was trying to turn it on from bed. So the sensor is like at the end of my bed, and it was like flashing white for a split second. And I think somehow I fucked up the buttons. What brand is it? It's from Kmart. So very cheap. It's like what? $15 for a 3-meter cable. So it's very, very, very cheap. I don't really care that much though. Like, I know which button does what, so I'm not fussed. You get what you pay for. What is it? It's not Genio. They've got a brand called Genio, which is really expensive. I wouldn't mind giving those a go at some point. They don't have... Here it is. This one. It's just a generic brand. Like, it's called Anko. Anko. That's Kmart's generic brand, right? So they have like their own knockoffs of things. ANCAP, yeah, sure. It is unfortunate, but I'll manage. How you doing, pizza? Red does the blue does the green. And I want to get more strip lights. I bought a pack recently which was 4 separate strip lights that you can plug together with connector cables. So my goal at the moment is to put strips on these underneath each of the major shelves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and connect those and have lights on there that will shine down on all my collectible shit. We have an Anko ring light. It's adequate. I think I've seen them ring lights. Oh yeah, the BB-8. He doesn't work anymore, regretfully. He's a little Bluetooth BB-8 drone thing that rolls around, but for reasons that escape me, I've charged him. I've sat him charging on his dock for hours on end. I've tried to connect him to my phone. Nothing works. So he's just a statue now. Next to my portal gun, which you can barely see there. Like, no, you can't. That doesn't help. At any rate, there's also some... This is not... oh, my Revenant. Don't look at my butt. I'm hoping I can get away with it. It's gonna work. The Revenant works now. Not that you can see much on it. There we go. You can vaguely see my little Doom Revenant lit up there. I can't really show it much better than that, but more lights! You have a BB-8, but it was the non-working display thingy. You know what's funny? Is that's the expensive one of that BB-8. There was another version of it that was about $100. You have to raid and run, Steph. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so kindly for stopping by. I'm going to check if I'm following you. I think I am. I get the suspicion I am following you. Yes, I am. Cool. Don't talk to yourself, Abigail. Jesus Christ. Have a good one. Go grab some dinner and walk the dog. Lovely to see you. I'm just going to show this off because I like these. I have these... Oh, you can't see it. Hang on. Enjoy brightness. There we go. Look, now I'm clear. I've got these dice. These are my dice of death. I've only recently actually... After having these for years... I have recently taken them out of the packaging. Focus, you cunt! Okay, look, you get the idea. They're dice with engraved, indented skulls on all of the spots. Focus. There we go. It's like that all over the die. There's 5 of them. I bought those back when I was regularly... Let me turn the brightness down on that. I bought those when I was regularly playing... Thing, tabletop. I used to play war games. I used to play tabletop war games. I used to play Kings of War specifically. And I stopped, not because of the pandemic, but because of I just lost interest, honestly. I'm an asshole. I lost interest. And I stopped going back. So I'm just gonna see if there's a better lighting situation. Does this look alright? I feel like this looks alright. Should we keep the ring light on or off? Well, I mean, now it doesn't look too bad. Now you can see my shelving for reasons unbeknownst to me. I guess turning the ring light on fixed the color balance of the camera. Is there a way I can lock this color balance? Because this looks good now. You can see everything. Main camera. Camera source. No, that's color source. Hang on. Can I... Configure video. White balance. That's on auto. So turn that off. Oh god. Okay, I did something. Is that too saturated? Fuck. Is this too much? Is this too heavy? I can't even tell, like... You turn that on. That looks weird now. But I'm kind of about it. This is, like, I wanted this kind of vivid color, and now we have it. So dreamy. It's a nice vibe in here now. I love it. I'm loving it. It's so good. I'm gonna get more decorative stuff. I was mentioning before, I want to get some, like, fake foliage to hang down off the wall there, and a trans pride flag to hang over the head of my bed. So, I'm turning it into my cozy little space. It's so nice in here now. I want to get some lights for my... Hello, Jelly, by the way. How you doing? Lovely, lovely. I'm gonna... You know what? Here's an idea. Stay there for a second. Girl actually has 2 cameras. This one is attached to my teleprompter. I haven't actually shown this on stream before. I use this a lot for my video essays. And the next one's going to be tricky because I don't want to be looking at the camera in my next video essay, so I might have to set the teleprompter up somewhere separately and read off cam. So like I'll be looking over there. Because my next piece I think is going to be a character piece. I'm thinking. And I'm really, can I express some malcontent right now with myself as a creator, as a video essayist, as an aspiring video essayist. I suppose I've done 2 video essays, so technically I'm a video essayist. Deal with it. But I got this neat thing. I'm worried the next one's not going to be good. I have a lot of anxiety. We'll come back to the anxiety thing about that. I have a lot of anxiety that the next video is not going to be good. I have a suspicion that the subject matter I've chosen is not as... I don't have as much knowledge on it as I would like, and I don't know where to begin with the research for the project. So that's my major concern right now. It's like I don't know where to begin, and I also don't want to talk about it on stream particularly because then I'll spoil the video itself and I want people to go watch it. You know, I don't want to give away the message before I've gotten to the point where I've made the video. But this is I'm going to say this right now. This is an XCD tripod. This tripod my mother got me, it's fucking good. To be completely off that tangent for a second, this is a fucking good tripod. Like a solid steel composition. It's really sturdy. I love it. It's amazing. And I'm gonna adjust it. Not like that. So let's try something. This is something I wanted to fiddle around with. The idea of multiple cameras. Because I've had multiple cameras for a while now. Alright, let's see if that works. Alright. Just do the goth makeup and pentagram dress again. I might. I was thinking of doing something like this. A little bit more casual. A little bit more chill. Maybe some cat ears, woo. Alright, let's try adding. I hope that connected. I didn't even check. Oh god, no, not Snapcam. I swear to all fuck. I deactivated that shit. There we go. What's up? There you go. What do you think? Different perspective? Ah, no! I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this. Heard you like Abby, so we put some Abby with you, Abby. Transform. Fit to screen. There we go. Now you can see my biceps. And you can see me on the screen over here. Why is it when I'm looking at myself, I find it impossible to point at things that I know the location of? Why does this happen? Anyway, I think I'm going to do something with that. I don't know what exactly. I love this angle, though. This looks really good. And especially now that we fixed the white balance, this looks amazing. So how about we set this up? How about we go... we copy this. How about we duplicate this scene? And we'll go just chatting alt cam. Just catting. Just catting. We'll scroll you way the fuck back up here. Just chatting. We're on just chatting alt cam, and we'll go to cam 2. Properties. What up, Steal Your Loot? How you doing, dude? What's going on? What's the happenings? Configure video. Turn off the white balance, first of all. Fuck that shit off. Resolution. My New Year's resolution is 4K. Please don't hate me for that. Please don't. Hate me for that. That's the worst fucking joke in the world. I hate that shit so much. I hate it because it's legitimately funny, though. You're not allowed to unsub, you gotta stay subbed. Okay, so this is the problem with this camera. I have to adjust this every single time I make a video with it. The teleprompter, the edge of the teleprompter works. So see if I center it, you can see the corners at the edge of the teleprompter. A massive pain in the ass. So what we gotta do, let me just adjust it. There you go. You've got to see the edges of the teleprompter over here. So every time I do one of my videos, and yes, I do want $1,000 for a new camera setup. I don't care that I have 2 webcams, you fuckwits. Donate to my Patreon. How do I rename this? Hang on a sec. There we go. Let me see. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, we want to go to the camera source. We're going to go to properties. Not deactivate, you fucking moron. Configure video. I don't know why I did that. And then I just turned my zoom up, and that gets rid of those. Save changes. There we go. And now we've got 2 separate. I mean, it makes it a bit difficult because the microphone needs to be a bit closer. I was considering something for either the next video or the video after it. Probably not the next video because I did explicitly mention in a recent stream that I want the next video to be a character piece. I want the next video to be either a fictional debate or a discussion or something like that, rather than a direct to the camera video essay, because it is more of a personal piece that explores different ideas that I have. And that's what makes it particularly difficult because I've never done a video in that format before. At least not on this particular level. Hello, Kez. Hello, Kez. Hello, Kez. How you doing? You're driving home from Ipswich? Well, that sounds pretty fucking cool. Alright, I'm gonna add another Stream Deck button here. We're not gonna bash the fash. It's not related to that at all, actually. I'm gonna get rid of this particular source. This particular... the just chatting with source scene that I've got. Let me see here. There we go. Ah! There we go. So now I can do this and this. What's going on? Your partner is driving safely. That smiley is completely sarcastic. Hang on, just found out that Boris is trying to force quarantine for arrivals with negative COVID tests that would cost €200, by the way, for 10 days. Force quarantine for arrivals with negative COVID tests that cost €200. Is that a good thing? That sounds like a good thing, isn't it? Force quarantine for arrivals. Forcing them into hotels. Doesn't sound like a bad thing, but I don't know. This scene here, right? Which we can't really use anymore. I haven't quite figured out what to do with this particular scene. So at the moment, it's in a bit of a weird place. I don't know what to do with it. So for right now, when we're talking about a thing, we're doing this. I'm putting me down here in the corner. I'm going to do a new border up. Oh, trying to make money from COVID. Oh, the cost €200 thing. Okay, yes. I get what you mean. I'm going to fiddle with this camera for a sec. Sorry, I wasn't paying full attention. I thought you meant putting people into quarantine. Bad thing. Alright. There we go. That's better. Oh, no, it's not. There we go. That work? What do you think? Why do I swear I keep having like bad takes on things? This is what's good about streaming though. You can call me out on my bad takes on things. They already have to be in quarantine, but your man could be in your house for 10 days before now they want to charge €1,500 plus for 10-day stay at their choice of hotel. I see. Well, that's a bit of an oblate pain, isn't it? Has her head out the window. God, be careful with her. Don't let her get her head cut off. Goodness me. I have to take the test within 72 hours of flying before, so it only really... Yeah. Well, that's a bit fucking garbage. And we were talking about Dr. Fauci a moment ago. Remember when Trump initiated a travel ban and everyone called him a racist, then Biden got elected and did the same thing? I haven't even looked into what Biden has done, honestly. I know he repealed Trump's LGBTQ bullshit that he did. Including removing Trump's trans military ban, which I suppose arguably is a good thing in terms of equality. But I'd rather we just ban all cis and trans people from the military. That's my personal opinion on that. I did hear about Biden lifting the Muslim ban, which I still don't know the finer details of that. You see what I did? Yeah, just ban the military. That's my major Antifa stance. Military, like, the military itself is a fascist institution. If he was serious about containing it, he would have done it earlier. Trump did the travel ban too late. Serious about containing... Did you mean... Wait, which travel ban? We're talking about the Muslim travel ban, right? Which was an entirely weird concept to me. But, you know... I need to look this up. Hang on. So how's the lighting now? Do you like it? Do you like it? There's a timeline of the Muslim ban on the ACLU. Let's have a look. Okay, I really regret the fact that I reignited. I restarted Tinder like a few weeks back. I made a new account that was all Abigail, of course. Have not touched it since. That's purple. It's magenta. We'll keep the blue, I guess. Trying to figure out what my colors should look like. It was just to fire up his base. Same with Boris. Posted a video earlier at the local supermarket. Packed. Wondering if COVID is just a moneymaker to the higher ups now. I think it definitely is. We do have the situation where... Oh, for fuck's sake, don't get rid of my menu. I'm gonna make it orange. Or green. Which didn't do anything. Yellow. Deep sky blue. Fuck it, let's stick with the blue. Hang on. The pact wondering if... Yeah, I think there is definitely a case of drawing out the pandemic. The goal should be, of course, to suppress it as much as possible and do a New Zealand situation. Lock down everything until you're getting next to no positive results, positive outcomes, positive test results, sorry. But of course that's not going to be the case because they can milk this. Like, think about the fact that we have to pay for the masks ourselves. They require us to wear masks, but we have to pay for them. So why are they not distributing masks? Why are they not I don't mind if you make a branded mask and sell it, but why should we have to pay for the blue masks that come in packets? They need to give those to us for free. Every week, bare minimum, they should be shipping us a 10-pack of masks. If they are expecting us to wear them every single day, whenever we go anywhere, we can't make that many masks? Bullshit. Isn't it simply make more masks? Yes. It's probably a waste of resources and medical materials, but yes, they can make more. This is why you got 2 reusables from work. I need to buy some more reusable ones. I've got a really cute one. I don't know if it's in the wash or not. I don't think it is. See if I can find it in my underwear drawer. Must be in the wash. I don't have it. I want to order some cute ones, but I don't know what to order. If anyone has any suggestions, I mean, honestly, going back to like yesterday's thing about the 90s, maybe I could get one that's, one of those 90s themed masks. The thing is, they're like $30 or $40 to buy one custom mask. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the logic is simply make more. We should fully have had the whole country in lockdown at the same time for at least a month to 8 weeks, exactly. We are making that many because we are using that many, exactly. I don't think yours is reusable, you've been using the same one since you bought one. As long as you're washing the cloth masks, you should be fine. But the actual the masks that are made out of the material that like the nurses wear, typically those are disposable. They're meant to be used for one specific period of time and then thrown away. And this is the unfortunate thing, is like, with all the masks being used all the time now, we're seeing a lot of them on the ground. We're seeing littering. We're seeing pollution increase because of people just throwing them away, which is a bunch of bullshit. Don't discard your masks like that, you dickheads. Quarantine is pretty bad. You're tired of it. I mean, I can understand that. I am sick of the restrictions and all that. I'm sick of having to put sanitizer on my hands everywhere I go. I'm sick of having to... I mean, the social distancing can stay. Stay the fuck away from me. But, other than that, I'm gonna add some red to this bitch. What do you reckon? Is this good? So we've got pink over here. We've got magenta. We got blue. And we got red. How's this vibe? How's this? Is this good? This some good shit? You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna fucking do? I'm gonna do something wild, dudes. You fuckers. We're gonna do something a bit crazy here. How's about that? Oh, we in now. We in the zone now. Oh, fuck. Like I've been swallowed by a unicorn. Fuck yeah. Main bedroom 1. I'm going to save this one. So for those of you who don't know, the app that I use, Wiz, W-I-Z, is the brand that I use for my lights. And you can set up a little preset. So I've just saved that as party. I got lights out. And I've got main bedroom 1. Streaming. This is my streaming color scheme. Is this one. Which is mostly blue now that I've fixed up my color balance. I want to change it. Back to pink. There we go. I was considering adding color changing options for anyone who, like, maybe that could be a sub thing. Maybe like when someone subs. Maybe when someone subs. Fucking party mode, dude. If only I could hook up my lights on my bed to this, but they're not smart lights. Pink is nice. I do like pink. I'm glad that I could actually express that now. Lights and sub lounge. I'm glad that I can actually express that I like pink now. I do. I like the color. Whereas before I felt distinctly like I wasn't allowed to like it. Because toxic masculinity. I think what I'm going to do is red, blue, and magenta for this scene. What do you think? Does this has a nice variety of color to it, I think. Refresh scene. I'm gonna have this. Now that the color scheme has been, now that the color balance has been adjusted, the white balance has been fucked off. I like how this looks. Purple, red, and black are all, that's fucking good color scheme, honestly. Goth aesthetic is nice. Have you checked out Beserk? B-E-S-E-R-K. I think they're an Australian provider of very goth attire, very goth.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope
Aileen
you enjoy
Vera,
your stay.
welcome to the Rogue Room. Hope you're having a good one. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Here in the newly invigorated. And
We
Constantine
hope you enjoy your
115.
stay.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us like you have been, friend. Pink used to be considered a boy's color. Yeah, we went over this recently, actually. Greetings from Chile. How you doing? How's Chile treating you? We went over this recently. I didn't go into full detail about it, but it used to be that pink was the color for boys because of the perceived masculinity of, like, bloodied bandages from going to war and stuff like that. So it was seen as masculine, you know, the color of pink was the color of blood saturating the bandages the men would wrap around themselves when they got shot or stabbed. It was seen as manly. And then in the 1920s, I believe it was, flappers, you know what flappers are, as a kind of a rebellion against the institution of like how women were expected to dress. There was a lot of women's rebellion against standard attire, including stuff like wearing binders to suppress their breasts under like the different like changes in fashion and things like that. And one of the things that they did, because pink was a boy's color, women started wearing a lot of pink. And I can't recall how it goes, but after about World War II, if I'm not mistaken, it became specifically, it started to be specific, like it flip-flopped. It used to be blue was a girl's color, pink was a boy's color. And that was a marketing thing back then. Of course it was, because everything is marketing, everything is capitalism. And what they did is culturally they said, well, pink is now a girl's color, blue is now a boy's color. And that's how it's been for the past 70 odd years or so. 70, 80 odd years. So it's really bizarre when people go so ham on the whole blue for boys, pink for girls thing. Generally speaking, not knowing the history of it. First person other than yourself to know that pink used to be a boy's color. I need to like memorize the exact history of it because it's a very interesting story. It's a very interesting story how that came about. All the cool stuff goes to women, guys have yeah, true. That is the unfortunate reality of the situation. There is a dress on Berserk that I desperately want. Let me see if I can find it. Because they've got some gorgeous fucking dresses. I mean, this looks sick as fuck. Let's throw this out there right now. This looks sick as fuck. I'm in the way. I want that. It's awesome. But the one I was looking at recently. Where is it? In here somewhere. This one. This is awesome. I want this dress. Get her head out of the shot. Get out of the way. I just want to look at the dress. Which comes with the belt, I believe. Overall, that whole outfit, though. Sick. Cyberdog? I can't believe I'm, like, looking at, buying, you know, rave gear kind of stuff. Things with flashing lights and whatever. Like the glasses that I wanted to get. It's so dumb. This looks pretty cool. This looks pretty cool. I can dig it. I can dig it. I used to try for the goth aesthetic, and then I started to skew into the raver aesthetic, even as an entire introvert who never left the house. But over time, I just dropped it entirely. The LED masks are sick. I'm not gonna lie, I would wear one of those on stream. I want an LED mask. That's so stupid. But I would go out in public with my light up mask. Fucking why not? Except for the fact that they're stupidly expensive. 5317 AUD, which I don't have on me. And yeah, of course it lights up. Of course it lights up. Has several holes in the front, so you can't use it for COVID. Wait, really? Oh, you've got a Cyberdog mask. Okay, you got something different. Alright. Well, since we might as well briefly touch on this because we were talking about the Muslim ban and what's happened to it. This is ACLU, Washington. I'm like right in the way. Where can I move myself where I'm not right in the way? This is the problem with this new cam setup. Maybe I should bring myself back to being in a square or something, but not a rectangle. The full rectangle, vertical rectangle was, yeah, the other side. There's not even room on the other side. I'm still too big. Whatever. I'll just read what I can see. All right. So I only remember that Biden repealed this. Oh, oops, sorry. Yeah, I only recall that Biden repealed this. Hello, Jacinta. You had a nap. How dare you? I am thick. I am chunky thick. President Donald Trump signed an executive order that banned foreign nationals from 7 predominantly Muslim countries from visiting the country for 90 days, suspended entry to the country of all Syrian refugees indefinitely, and prohibited any other refugees from coming into the country for 120 days. That was Friday, January 27th, 2017. This was like one of the first things he did as president. One of the very, very first things he did as president. Which, of course, you know, America has always had this big issue with the Middle Eastern populace. And this was just a move to fire them up even more, to justify even more invasion of their territories and things like that. Saturday, January 28th, as the Muslim ban went into effect on Saturday, lawyers from ACLU, WA, and the NW Immigrant Rights Project rushed to SeaTac Airport to help immigrants on incoming flights who are being denied entry to the US. The ACLU and NWIRP obtained a court order staying the deportation of 2 incoming travelers at SeaTac. With support from elected officials and more... What is with the language being used here? And more 1,000 protesters, like the... More than 1,000 protesters. What's going on with this? They secured the release of 2 people in the custody of Customs and Border Protection, CBP. It's almost like the Iraq War was for the oil and Afghanistan was for the massive mineral wealth. Crazy that. It's crazy that the US military is fighting for the freedom of America. But what's the freedom of America doing in the Middle East? Wild! That's supposed to be a laugh track. That was... I don't know why that sound effect is a laugh track. I don't know. Thank you, Stream Deck, for ruining my laugh track sound effect. I'm fixing that now. Fuck it. Why is that? What the fuck? Dude. Okay, let's go to my soundboard. Hold your horses for a second. Why is that broken? Sound effect. Sitcom laughing. Okay, fuck it, we'll do it live. Yeah, no, I'm not. I was gonna redo the joke, but now I'm just like, I'd have to fumble around. At the very least. We have the laugh track back. There we go. We can be a, what's the guy who makes The Big Bang Theory and 2.5 Men and every other god-awful show that he creates? We'll be that guy. We'll just insert a laugh track everywhere. We did it! Hello, Tig. How you doing? And anyone who is in here and would like to have your pronouns displayed in chat, we have the pronouns extension for Twitch on Chrome. I don't know if it works for other platforms, other browsers, and probably not for mobiles, but if you like your pronouns, and if you're interested in checking out my social medias and my Discord, I have YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and of course you can jump into the official Rogue Bitch Discord server. You should do that. It's a gay old time. Very, very gay. Super gay. Super gay. Okay. Didn't know there was an extension that did that. Well, yeah, it came up on... Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong button. I need to fix this real quick. Hang on a sec. How gay? On a scale of 1 to 10, 11. Duh. Could be logical. You know, you can definitely still join. I dare say most of the people in my Discord aren't actually gay. I think there's at least a few. But, no. You had an app, what'd you miss? Multiple camera angles. Oh, I love this. This is great. This is great. This is awesome. I've got cute lights all over my room. Our color scheme's been adjusted. We've got multiple camera angles. We've got a zoom function. This is production quality. How you doing? Camera angles make you want to join Discord or watch my latest video. Cancelled! Live on YouTube. And also a highlight from last night when we talked about autism. There's that thing. There's that whole thing. But yeah, the extension came up on Twitter recently, and of course a lot of people jumped on it because good idea. It helps people to understand, you know, are you she, her, or whatever. I mean, just in general, like I think a lot of us have this preconception. No matter who we, no matter what username we see online, I still, personally, anytime I see a random username, I just assume he immediately. And stuff like pronouns in bio and all that kind of shit does help with that. Room so cute. What's all that left to you? What do you mean? All that's left I want to change, or all... I'm not sure what you mean. I did speak about autism. I didn't, it's just on my YouTube channel. What's left from me? What do you mean what's left from me? Your English, I'm not sure what you mean. We'll come back to this thing later, I think. Oh my god, this goes... Oh, like, there's so much that happened with this Muslim ban. Oh, my figures. Okay, we'll go through those in a sec. the Muslim ban thing. There's so many events regarding the Muslim ban in 2017 alone, and then it keeps going, and then in 2020, and then it stops there at February 2020. It doesn't talk about Biden repealing the Muslim ban. Anyway, shall we talk about my figures? Should we talk about these? So what do you mean exactly? Like, because we got quite a bit over here. I want to take my mic off the mic stand and use it as a thing. I'm trying to like, what's a good angle we could get at here? So what's all that's left? Bad at explaining stuff and asking more questions.
Back.
I get what you mean. Hey, Fox, thank you for the sub.
Yay.
Join us in the sub lounge. Hey, yay. Thank you so kindly. If you're asking what figures I've got, quite a few. The 13 months. That's the standard. Everyone should be subbed for at least 13 months by now. Goodness gracious me. That's the minimum. That's the wrong scene. Anyway, I have spent quite a few years building up a collection of figures from various games and stuff like pop vinyls and Pretty Dark, you can barely see them. Let's change that. Let's change that so you can actually have a look, because we'll go through this. There's quite a few things on there. Bang, we got daylight. Alright, so first and foremost, down the bottom. Let's talk about what's down the bottom. We've got my World of Warcraft Collector's Editions in the middle of those boxes there. So I've got World of Warcraft from Wrath of the Lich King through to Legion's Collector's Editions. I've got Space Marine from Warhammer 40k, like Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Banger of a game. Awesome game. Fucking sick. Nowhere near a 10 out of 10. By any stretch of the imagination. It's maybe a 6, but it's fucking sick. I also have my Witcher 3 Wild Hunt box at the very end there. And then we've got just a collection of my usual games. That's just a Mimic. That's actually from D&D, I believe. That's a D&D, like, big Mimic you can... It doesn't do anything. And then over here we've got, in order from left to right, we've got Scorpion there. Then we've got the Lich King from World of Warcraft. We've got Alex Mercer from Prototype, Predator, the Dragonborn from Skyrim. I really want to get a female Dragonborn. There is a statue of a female Dragonborn. That thing there next to him, the jar, is actually a solar-powered LED light that's got a fake plant in it, and I just think it's cute. So I leave it on my windowsill to charge during the day, and then I bring it in and I put it on the shelf at night because it's cute. That's it. That's the only reason that exists. Cole from Infamous at the very end there. Infamous is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I sorely wish they bring it back, but I think Sucker Punch is good with Ghost of Tsushima for now, so whatever. I've got Bayonetta's gun, Scarborough Fair, next to him. I've got Geralt from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on a Griffin, I think it is. I got Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us right back up in the corner there. Death's Mask from Darksiders 2. Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2. I've got the Doom, you can just kind of see him. I've got the Doom Revenant, which is on a base that has a light and a fan in it, and it spins and lights up and flashes red. And in front of him there's a ghoul from World of Warcraft. There's a really detailed figurine. And then behind them there's Reaper from Infamous. Up on the next shelf we have my YouTube 1000 subscriber play button that I made for myself. Then we've got a little Enderman from Minecraft sitting next to it. We've got my Skull Dice next to that. My little BB-8, which used to be a little drone that could drive around. You used your phone. But it's dead. I've tried charging it. I've tried connecting it to my Bluetooth. Nothing works. We've got Ciri and Geralt from The Witcher as pop vinyls. Behind... Oh, there's also a little dice bag. You can see that little bag with the eye there. That's a dice bag. Which has got like 100 or so dice in it. Purple dice with gold dots on them, I think. Purple sparkly dice. Then you've got my portal gun behind that, and it's got... I think his name is Lucas the Spider. Someone gave me Lucas the Spider, a little plush spider. You'll notice I have a bit of a spider theme, sort of, over there on my bed. We've got the Minecraft spider. And... fucking Christ, dude. I need to get a mic stand that isn't so fucking sensitive. What a fucking snowflake. In keeping with the spider theme, that's what's in the case there. That's my pet Vess. My pet spider Vess. And then up here, You own a real spider? I own a real spider too. I own a tarantula. Then up here, we've got my Souls collection. So that gets its own shelf. I am very proud of that collection. I would like to add more to it. It's got my Witcher medallion hanging off the side here next to this light. But we've got Bloodborne, Dark Souls 2, Demon Souls. Sekiro has got 2 separate steelbooks. I don't know why I got 2 separate steelbooks with Sekiro, but I'll take it, whatever. Dark Souls 3 in a steelbook. I believe the one under it is... I want to say that's a Dark Souls Remastered steelbook under that. Then we've got Dark Souls Remastered and Dark Souls on PS3. So I got Dark Souls on PS3 and PS4. And I bought it on PC, and the first console I played Dark Souls on was an Xbox 360. So I've bought Dark Souls too much. Then we've got my statue of the knight wearing the Firelink armor. And behind him, you can't see him in this shot, is the knight wearing the Faram armor from Dark Souls 2. Next to them, we got little statues, they're very tiny, of Artorias and Solaire of Astora. And on top of the games, we've got the little Bloodborne Hunter. And behind all that, the art books there. There's the art book from the trilogy, and there's also a Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 little art book. Over there we got Sekiro by himself, the Sekiro art book, the map from Sekiro, and I believe under that, under Solaire there, folded up is the map of Lordran, and then behind that is the box for Sekiro Collector's Edition. That hat up in the corner there is from Scribblenauts. I don't know if any of you remember Scribblenauts. That game was amazing when it originally came out. And yes, you do see Thanos' gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet, way up the back there. Next to the Pip-Boy from Fallout 4. I got the Collector's Edition with the Pip-Boy. My dad bought me this Han Solo and Chewbacca duo of high detail figures. The tip of Han Solo's gun has broken off and fallen off somewhere, and I've lost it. So his gun is not in one piece, sadly. I've also got up there Ezio's Hidden Blade from Assassin's Creed 2, a Facehugger, a Deathwing Pop vinyl. A Deathwing Pop vinyl. And that's the Dishonored 2 Collector's Edition, which I have not broken. I've not opened that up. It's all still sitting in there. I need to open it up. For reasons unbeknownst to me, I have not done that yet. I have not played Dishonored 2, and I really need to. I'll try to bring my PS4 in here at some point. We'll do a stream of it. And then over there we've got, I believe that's Freya. I believe that's supposed to be Freya, the Shield Maiden. And over here we've got this Egyptian lady whose name escapes me at the moment. And then on top of the Fallout 4 thing, we've got a Bone Dragon from the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. That's, oh, hang on. Right next to Deathwing Pop vinyl. You can't see him. You can maybe just see the tip of his sword pop out. There's a character from, I believe, Scottish myth called Calgar. Not Calgar like the streamer who we're friendos with. Just Calgar. The guy from Scottish lore. Hello, Frogselina. How you doing? There's that. There is everything on my shelving. For anyone who is curious about that. There is more. There is a box full of pop vinyls and Disney Infinity. Bullshit. Just the tip. Yes. And hydrate. Let's hydrate. But over there, of course, you've got a giant cat head mask. And my Hearthstone pillow as well. Sorry, Reaper. There you go. Drank 2 liters today. That's good. That's a good amount. And I am, like, looking to, at some stage, upgrade that shelving unit. But I'm not sure if I want to do that, because I got rid of one of these. Because I had 2 of those, and I did not need 2 shelving units. Multiple angles. We are feeling the multiple angles thing. I need another camera somewhere. Maybe I should try to mount a camera above my door. Like, you can see my door there. Maybe I should try to mount a camera up on the door there, and I can point at that. Be like, hi. Get flipped off again. There you go. That's a vibe. There is, like, I have seen Rora Pickle stream. Tig. There you go. Boom. Where she's got a below desk camera. And I'm just like, I wear dresses a lot. Even though it's like she'd go down underneath and you'd be seeing her face up close to the camera. But I do not trust myself to not accidentally hit the button and expose my underwear to the internet. I don't want to do that. It's what you're here for. You love the eyeliner? Thank you, Frog. Thank you so much. I've been working on my eyeliner. It came out really, really wide today. I can't see. But I like the wings. And I've only been doing my eyeliner for
Welcome
like
to
the
the
middle.
Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Ronsalina, thank you for joining us here in the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. This is a chill space at the moment. The ring? Thank you. Trans Pride Worldwide. I still want to get my Trans Pride flag set up in my bedroom. Which we're going to do. We're going to throw that up there. So there's no question you'll see a Pride flag there soon. It'll be a Trans Pride flag hanging off my wall above my bed. I was joking earlier in a Discord server. If I could mount something above my bed, above my bed head, and that's something that I was going to mount. God, my strength is fucking piss weak these days. Was literally Frostmourne. Alright? Let's establish for a moment right now that mounting this above my bed head is a very bad idea. But it'd be badass. I mean, I love this thing. It's a third-party replica. But it is sick as fuck. And I would not trust myself to mount it. And also, I'm in a rental, so I can't really. I don't know where to put it, though. Like, I want to put it somewhere, but I don't know where I can stick the fucking thing. So it just sits there in the corner right now. And additionally, I've got this. Which is fucking dandy. Okay? The only good thing from the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, this lightsaber. That was a birthday present, by the way, a few years ago. And I've got this, which is literally just a cane from a smoke shop. You know how you go to those smoke shops and they got all that stupid knockoff gothy shit? I got this. Serves no purpose, has no meaning, it's just cool. My fucking cane. I also have a Captain America shield backpack over here in the corner. And I don't want to show that off because, I don't know. It feels weird now. It feels weird given the trajectory of America. How things have been going. I know Captain America doesn't align with America's fascistic viewpoints. How sharp is that sword? It's not really sharp, but I think if you got hit with it, you'd bleed. The edge of the sword is like flat. So it's not sharp per se, but it is real metal, and it is very heavy. So, and if you were to jab someone with the tip of it, you'd break the skin. You definitely would. But I doubt you'd be able to kill a person with it, to be honest. It's, yeah, I can't really have a sudden urge to send Abby a shit ton of plushies. I mean, that'd be an idea. Just the tip, just the tip. Just the tip. Just to see how it feels. Can you borrow it? Personal reasons. I wonder if I can get away with sharpening it. On the subject, I've got a letter opener here on my desk, which is a little sword. I got a little sword letter opener. Not that I open letters, but want to take bets on how long before Civil War starts in the UK? Captain Britain Civil War. Why? What's going on in the UK at the moment? Aside from the transphobes bullshit. Not exactly fond of the new Star Wars. The story is alright, but no, yeah, it's not as thought out. I want to go back, honestly, and I want to watch the original Star Wars trilogy, because I can remember the story beats to a point, but I distinctly recall either George Lucas or somebody else detailing that the story for the trilogy was not planned out in much the same way the story for the sequel trilogy was not planned out. I think the prequels were planned out much more in order. They had a plan from the get-go with the prequels, but I believe the original trilogy did not have a set plan. Star Wars was originally supposed to be just one movie. The first Star Wars, A New Hope, Episode 4, A New Hope, was always just Star Wars originally, until he came up with the idea of turning it into a franchise. And I want to rewatch the whole original trilogy just to see how cohesive it is in comparison to the sequel trilogy, because the sequel trilogy was dreadful in terms of its narrative cohesion. There's no narrative cohesion
in the sequel trilogy. The prequel trilogy, there is to a point, but there are a few bits where it's like, what the fuck's going on? Screw the sword. You've seen Ip Man use the cane. Ip Man use the cane. Imagine dual wielding the big sword and the little sword and suddenly have an RPG character but no RPG. Speaking of, who mentioned, what's my go-to RPG? Dark Souls. For anyone whoever it was that asked that question, I've forgotten, I've lost you now. Whoever it was that asked the question, what's my go-to RPG, is Dark Souls. Even though it's not in the traditional sense like a story-driven role-playing game. It is my... Yeah, there you go, mullet. My go-to is Dark Souls or Bloodborne. In terms of mechanics. But I would like if somebody would take the mechanics of Dark Souls and do a really heavy story-driven game. Maybe we'll get that with Elden Ring. Fingers crossed. I think it'd be interesting to see a game that takes Dark Souls' exact mechanics, does a few little quality of life improvements here and there, and does a really good story-driven thing. That's the funny thing about the dice, though. I actually had those for war games. And I don't think I've ever actually used the dice in that bag for any war games. I had a bunch of generic dice of different types. So I used to do tabletop... Kings of War was the game I played. It's basically Warhammer Fantasy Light. A lot cheaper. And I eventually just dropped out of playing it. I have got some miniatures in my wardrobe over there, but to get them out would be an effort, so I'm not going to do that. Maybe one day we can go through my minis. I can show you some of the stuff I've done there. The originals were amazing. You can't take the prequel seriously. The internet has ruined it for me, and don't get you started on the new trilogy. The new trilogy, atrocious. Truly atrocious. George Lucas always had a rough 9 stories mapped out when he started. However, they made the first one as a standalone in case it didn't do well enough to warrant a sequel. There you go. There you go. And it did do well enough. It did do well enough, and obviously it's now one of the biggest franchises in the world, and Isaac Butterfield cannot stand the fact that they're adding a trans Jedi to Star Wars in some way. See you later, everyone. Fucking snowflake Butterfield. Anyway. I don't know why this is like this. This is indented a bit, my event list. I don't know what the deal is with that. When someone follows, when someone subs, whatever. The first one is on like one section and the bottom two are indented for some reason. Yeah, I like the Jar Jar equals a Sith Lord headcanon, honestly. I think it's a good one. I think the fan theories for it are just so good. And quite frankly, it would have been the most amazing thing ever if they made those movies. But sadly not. I mean, it would have been great if it turned out Darth... if it turned out Darth Plagueis... Or either you make Jar Jar Binks Darth Plagueis, or you make Darth Sidious's apprentice Jar Jar Binks. But personally, what I would have loved is if they had Darth Maul stick around for the entire trilogy as that Agent Provocateur kind of character. Well, not Agent Provocateur, that's not the right phrase. As the main henchman, I would have loved if Darth Maul stuck around for the entire prequel trilogy as the primary antagonist. But, you know, he's always the puppet and gets killed off in the third movie or something. They really should have done better with Darth Maul. His character design is flawless, in my opinion. Truly a nefarious character design. It's absolutely marvelous. A bit sad that minority representation is seen as pandering, I know. That's the society we live in, sadly. You've seen Master Windu walking into Palpatine's office. Someone dubbed Saturday Night Fever and slowed down the footage, and it fits a bit too well. Hey Isaiah, how you doing? Star Wars honestly doesn't interest you. You're definitely a Trekkie. Give me that deep political commentary dressed in sci-fi today. I gotta watch more Star Trek. I've watched a bit of it. A bit of TOS, a bit of the original series, but I haven't watched much. It's really confusing because you know there are episodes on the DVDs that are missing for reasons unbeknownst to me. I think maybe either they've lost the episodes or something. Hey, Ms. Rebel, how you doing? Gotta watch Rebels to see anything decent from Maul. That's what I've been told. That's what I've heard. Is that Maul gets a really good storyline in Rebels, but like... The problem with that kind of stuff is, you know, the expanded universe thing. You get some really good content in there, and everyone's watching The Mandalorian, so at the very least... you get good content in The Mandalorian, despite the fact that transphobes Gina Carano and that other lady are in it. At the very least, the expanded universe in in terms of The Mandalorian, is both high quality and enjoyed by many. But, you know, when you look at like the animated shows and the books and all of that, and you can be like, this is such an amazing part of the Star Wars mythos, and virtually nobody sees it. Like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, amazing piece of Star Wars media, honestly. Here is a cat. And baby. Is Pedro Pascal single? I don't think he is, actually. I get the suspicion he's not. Oh, you didn't mind Clone Wars if it was on. What was actually on the subject of Star Wars and Star Trek? There was a meme earlier. There was like Star Wars racist fans piss me off. Star Trek racist fans confuse me. There was something along those lines. It's like I don't understand how somebody could be a fan of Star Trek and be a bigot at the same time. It's like Star Trek has been the SJW sci-fi show for the longest fucking time, since its inception. So how somebody could be a fan of Star Trek and be a racist is absolutely baffling, but they exist. What do I think about EA losing the Star Wars exclusivity? Good, quite frankly. They don't deserve it. But Fallen Order was a very good game, so I hope that we get a Fallen Order 2, because Respawn did good work on that game, and I am keen to see what they do with a more expanded license. With more time to make an even better game, because Fallen Order is just so good, just incredible. What else though? Let me think. What else? I believe there was talk of a Knights of the Old Republic 3 being both not produced by EA and not developed by BioWare. So that might be something to look forward to. For fans of Knights of the Old Republic, I have not actually played Knights of the Old Republic for more than like the first 2 hours of the first game. So I'm not a huge, KOTOR mega fan or anything like that. I don't have a huge amount of attachment to it, but that's kind of exciting. I'm wondering, I do believe I heard at some point there may be a Knights of the Old Republic remaster in the works. I am not 100% certain, I may be imagining things. But it'd be good to get that, honestly. Knights of the Old Republic remake would raise some serious questions. This is from Forbes. Rumors surfaced EA is taking Knights of the Old Republic off the shelf, not as a remaster, but as a possible remake or quasi-sequel. Well, now we know that we're going to be getting a third. And this is one of those situations where I'm like, I'm okay with remasters coming out if there's a sequel coming out soon after. Like, reinvigorate interest in the series. I just hit my cat in the head. I'm sorry, cat. I dropped my hands too heavily and bumped him. Now he's looking up at me and he's purring. So I guess he's happy with abuse. That's good. You met Data, so hang on. How can you be a Trekkie and sport Uhura, Geordie, Janeway, but be a sexist and racist? Yeah, it's crazy. I have heard they are working on actual legitimate Mass Effect 4, in addition to, of course, the Mass Effect remaster. Once that drops, I'm totally getting it. Mass Effect was my shit. I posted this tweet today. We're not even on topics at the moment, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the chill chats at the moment. I did post this because I look cute in this photo. Love me, please. I found my N7 hoodie, which has got all the it's like textured on the front, the back, and the hood pulls over and zips closed, and it's a helmet. It's fucking amazing. Please ignore my dusty ass mirror. I saw this back in the day and I had to have it. I've had it for years. It's massive. I think it's like a double XL or something. It's huge, but I wanted it huge. I look cute and everything. Thank you. You're skeptical about remaster and or ME4. Almost all of the OG Mass Effect stuff are gone. That is the major problem, of course. How can you create a sequel to the original without all of the original people who made it great in the first place? Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe it'll turn out good. I don't know. You met Data, Captain Janeway, and Captain Kirk Shatner and attended a talk in a very small room with Sir Patrick Stewart. Thanks to your ex-boyfriend's bro who made us go to a Star Trek convention. You grew up watching it though, so low-key loaded. Well, that's good to hear. That would have been cool though. I've only been to 2 conventions, regretfully, in my life. One of them was Sexpo, which was shit. Okay, if you ever get the chance to go to Sexpo, don't. That was fucking dog shit. And the other one was I went to the International Makeup Artist Trade Show quite a few years ago now. And I'm kind of regretful I wasn't into makeup at the time, because I was still presenting male and had no interest in it. For the sake of... That's a girly thing, gross. Horny jail awaits. Not for me. Not for me. I don't get to go to horny jail. Can't find any proof that Pedro Pascal is taken. Well, I mean, shoot your shot, Queen. Go for it. Slide in his DMs. Get him to follow you on Twitter and slide in his DMs. Been to a Stargate convention, you bought it for your ex's birthday. You took it as an opportunity to propose to you at the top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Ew. That'd be so cheesy. No thanks. Okay, cat's getting off me now. The cat's leaving. Why was Sexpo shit? It was just not interesting. It's like... It's... I don't know. It didn't feel very well laid out. There was no one interesting there. And it was just overall a kind of a creepy vibe, I think. I wasn't comfortable being there. But anywho, I'm like way over my usual time. You're obsessed with Stargate when you were 13? I remember enjoying Stargate for quite a bit. I didn't go too far with it. Hello, cat. Here is baby. Oh, he got down again. I don't remember getting too deep into it, but it was good for what it was. I remember being surprised when I found out there was a Stargate movie, and I think I watched that, which is obviously where the series came from. But of course, I think I and many other people associate Stargate with Richard Dean Anderson and the rest of that cast versus the movie cast, which is entirely different. I think it's almost entirely different. I think there might be one actor who came across to the TV show, but generally speaking, it's like, generally speaking, I think everyone was a different actor, if I recall correctly. The movie was okay, wasn't great. The thing you don't understand, like say your favorite adult actress is there, what do you say? Hi, I've masturbated to you loads of times. Like that isn't totally creepy or awkward. I know. Have you guys seen that Twitter account? I'm not going to bring it up, obviously. But there's a type of guy who has been to so many of these sex convention things. And he's got photos with all these different adult actresses. So many of them he knows by name. And it's really creepy. And he's routinely posting photos. I got photos with these 4 porn stars. And it's like, ew. I don't want you anywhere near me, thanks. It's like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. It's so awkward. Okay, so I'm thinking it's about time. I think it's about time we call it. Do you think it's about time we call it? I think it's about time we call it for tonight. Yeah, I got pics with giant boobies. Fantastic. I'm thinking a few people we could raid. Pinappy is drunk. That's a thing. Feels like he just got here. Big mummy milkies. Well, I will be streaming tomorrow for Invasion Day stream. I'm not going to be doing... I haven't told Calgar this yet. I feel bad. But I don't plan on doing game streaming tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about Invasion Day, patriotism, and the fact that there's only one major game studio based out of Australia that I can think of that has released a major AAA video game, that being Bondi, Team Bondi, who did LA Noire, and then they got shut down. No, I'm not going to talk about that. But I was trying to filibuster a bit. You want to do shared custody of your milkers. You don't want them at work, but you want them when your partner and I are bumping uglies. Sounds great. Sounds fantastic. Who can we raid? There's a few people I have in mind. Pinappy, Twoodles, Emmy's playing Stardew. I feel like I raided her recently though, so I don't want to raid her again too soon. Ruthie, again, raided her recently. Whom can we go to? You love the term bumping uglies. I don't. It's fucking gross. Imagine getting banned from a chat for making a joke that continues a joke that was already fucking going on. I don't know, dude. I don't know the context. But not that big. You've enjoyed the chat. Thank you so kindly for being here, Mullet. Who can we go to? Steph is playing Ark, but he's also got 174 viewers. I'd feel awkward. I feel awkward rating anyone who's got like such a huge number of viewers more than I do. That's really awkward. I don't know. You know what? Since we like the lighting, should we? What do you think? I'm giving you guys a choice here. We could rate either Pinapy, who's in Just Chatting, who is drunk. You have no excuse not to join. LGBTQ+ and autism inclusive. Wearing a gorgeous Lolita dress, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. Or we could go to Tweedles, who's playing Among Us. So, pick one. Do we have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Oh, we could go on that one. Jesus Christ. Who do we raid? You know what? I'll throw in a few other options for the hell of it. So you guys can decide. We'll make it complicated for you, so it'll be a really difficult decision that all of you can make. And here's we'll add. There we go. Here's a few streamers you can pick from. And yeah, we're not gonna talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Not tonight. We could do that whole thing. If you want to vote on someone, otherwise I'll just pick. If you can't decide for me. Come on, I gave you 5 options. Pick someone. Which is Among Us? Tweedles. We can just go to Tweedles if you want. Would make life easier. Our Lord and Savior Cthulhu. I'm hoping Cthulhu 2024. Quite honestly, we're long overdue for it. Please give us some eldritch monstrosity. Plotsky is awesome. We like Plotsky. We're well overdue for some apocalyptic monster to come and swallow us all. You know, that's what we need right now. I think what the world needs now is eldritch unknowable beings descending upon the earth to absolutely melt our brains. You've yet to meet someone on Twitch who doesn't know Plotsky. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He gets around a lot. I've seen him everywhere. Alright, I'm going to call the poll at 1 minute. I should have set it to 1 minute. Not poll. And my stream thing is like going loopy at the moment. My bitrate is being a little bit stupid right now. I can't get rid of the poll option now. Stick around for the raid, folks, and if you are interested in talking about stuff like imperialism and patriotism and Nazism, most likely, nationalism, all of that kind of stuff, we're going to go heavy tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very heavy stream because tomorrow is Australia Day, or as I prefer to call it, Invasion Day, where all the white supremacists get together and get drunk and shout and let off fireworks and act like it's not a horrendous representation of the way our nation has treated its indigenous peoples. That's tomorrow. If you're interested in that, please swing by 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. If you're not already in the Discord, jump in the Discord server. I'm going to be collecting a whole bunch of information on that particular topic. I'm going to grab some drinks too. Why not? Fuck it. I'm going to grab some drinks. We're going to need alcohol for tomorrow's stream because it's some heavy shit. So we're going to go say hi to Tweedles, and I am also available on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as the Discord server. If you're not already in there, jump in there, get in the conversations. We're trying to have conversations, or just post pictures of your cat. We have a section where you can post pictures of your cat. I will see ya, and I'm looking at ya.